Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video we're doing a 4-hour crash course in the Go programming language. I hope you enjoy and please subscribe if you're not already.
Hello everybody. Welcome to our big course Google Go Programming from Golang Beginner to Web Development in Go by Shazib Kamal. In this big course, we are starting from the very basic of the Go language. You even do not need to know any language, any prior experience required at all. You do not need to be a programmer of any language or even Go language. We would be starting from the very basic. We're gonna discuss how we can set up the Go language, the environment setup in our system. Then we would talk about the basic syntaxes of the programming languages and which syntax works with the Go language. This is the very beginning things we're going to discuss in the course. Then we would talk about the data types, the variables, the functions, the how we can make our program decisionable, understanding how we can make the loops and the duplications, then major structures and interfaces, functions, etc. All of the basic things we're going to cover. Then with those basic things we're going to make a program. We are going to make multiple programs anyway. Then once we understand how to program in the Go language with the terminal, we would start talking about the web development. In the web development section, you even do not need to know the basics of the web development because we're going to cover that. If you know that, that's good, but we're going to discuss the basic aspects of the web development like HTML, the CSS, the Bootstrap. Because in a web development section of the Go language, we're going to use the Bootstrap, HTML and CSS in our programming to develop the front-end Go language to make a complete website. So we would discuss those basic things. So if you do not know anything of the web development, this course is absolutely for you to become a front-end developer, the complete front-end developer. We would discuss the templating in the Go language. We would discuss the rules of templating. We would discuss about the servers, how to upload the created package, even how to make a package and how to upload the package over the servers, understanding the HTTP and understanding the databases. Absolutely, we're gonna play with the databases too. In other words, if you do not know anything of the front-end development and you want to become a Go language expert to develop the complete front end, so this course is absolutely for you. So meet you in the next lecture of the course. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to the series where you're learning Go programming language. So in this video we will talk how we will set up Go language in our system. So first of all, we need to go to the golang.org website. You can see that the Golang programming language, the golang.org, and then you can easily see this big button, download Go. You need to click on that button, and once you click on that button you will have the options, the stable versions or the featured downloads. So you can find any of the download from here too. There are a lot of download options, but I'm just gonna go to these one of these four. So you can see that the Microsoft Windows, Apple, Mac OS, Linux or the source. So because I'm gonna teach you using the Microsoft Windows, so I'm gonna use this one, but if you have these systems you can use any of the system anyway. I'm clicking here Microsoft Windows. Okay, now your download should begin shortly if it does not click this link, but I do not need to click on that link because it is actually working fine here. It's getting downloaded. Now you can see that it is downloaded here. I just need to click on this one and it's opening. Then the Google LLC, which is actually a verification that it is coming from the Google sources, so all good. I need to run on that. It's asking me what I just want to do. I just want to install this setup. So now click on the next button. Now absolutely we have to accept the terms. Now the next button again. Now it's asking for the place where I just want to install the location. I'm just clicking on the next button. Now it's simply asking me to install it. I click there. Now it's processing. Yes, now it's validating the install, and it will take a few minutes to install the Go language in our system. It is pretty easy. Many different languages we often use. We have to use the npm or different kind of package managers. For PHP there is a different manager like Composer. For JavaScript technologies we use npm, but this one is simply the installer of the simple exe installer, nothing more complex. So you just need to click on the next button and install button, and there you need to click on the finish button, and it is in your system. Now this actually have done a lot of things. You can see that when you install it, the Windows MSI installer. So this is how you need to install it. Open the MSI files and follow the prompts to install the Go tools. But the interesting thing is the installer should put the cgo bin directory in your path environment variable. You may need to restart any open command prompts for the change to take effect. Setting environment variables under window. If you actually want to set up the environment variables, you can choose these options, but this is not the point by now because we already did that using the Go installer. Now all we need to verify if it is actually working fine, so we need to make a script in the Go language by now. So I'm going there and I'm actually inside a folder which name is Golang. I'm making a new file here, and inside this file I'm just gonna save it like this, and the name should be like test.go. okay, the format should be test.go. I mean, you can add, instead of test, you can put index, you can put the home, you can put the anything like that, but the extension must be .go, and then click on the save button. Now there is the file. Now I'm gonna put some commands you may don't understand by now, but you need to be patient because I will be teaching what I'm doing. Package main line break import fmt line break func main parentheses and the curly braces and the fmt dot parent ln, and here I'm going to type something like hello world. Okay, I have written something like I have made a function here. First of all, I just loaded a package, then I imported fmt from that package, then I ran a function here. I called the function here. I'm gonna run that function, so where I'm gonna run that function, I'm gonna run that function in the PowerShell. So there is a PowerShell. First of all, I need to write go, then run, then test.go. okay, before doing anything, you need to make sure that your PowerShell is actually located in a position where your file is. Like you can see that the tutorials Jerry Banfield Golang, and there is a test.go. This file is actually in exact location where I just opened my PowerShell. You can see that the address of the file, the Jerry Banfield Golang and /test.go. So I opened the PowerShell in the Golang folder. You can see that. So here I need to now press the line break, the enter key, and now there hello world is visible here. That means this script is working. That means we just have set up the Go language in our system. So in the next video we will talk about some more different things of the Go language. Till then, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're gonna download and install the Go compiler. Without the compiler, we can write code on Go language, but we cannot run that. So we cannot testify that if our code is okay or no. So all we need is to go to there, the download Go button, click on this button. And now you're gonna see the page, the golang.org/dl. In the official Golang website, you can see that the downloads heading and then the feature downloads and stable versions. We absolutely need nothing to do with the stable versions because we are actually going to use the feature download ones. You can use the Microsoft Windows if you're using the Windows, or if you're going with the Apple, Mac OS, or the Linux. So according to your system, download any of these, like I'm downloading this one. And now, okay, it is asking me to confirm if this download is suitable for my system. And I click there, and now it's downloading in my system, which can take hardly 1 minute. So there are some different settings that what you need to do, but the good thing is you actually do not need to do many of the things because as you can see that open the MSI file and follow the prompts to install the Go tools. By default, the installer puts the Go distribution in the C Go, and the installer should put the directory in your path environment variable. Actually, whenever you install or set up any program, you have to set up them in the path environment variables, but Go did it itself if you go with the download installer. So anyway, so all we need is to wait a few more seconds, then we would be able to download that, install that. Anyway, so it may be useful to have multiple Go versions installed on the same machine to ensure that a package test pass on multiple Go versions. Once you have a Go version installed, you can install the another one, but we do not need that. This is actually extra thing for us. I'm clicking on this file and all I need is to run it. Now the setup is now asking me to click on the next button. Now all I need is to accept the terms of the license agreement, and I need to select the destination, the C/Go, and click on the next button again, and absolutely the install button. Now all we can do is to wait a few minutes. Once it completes the installation, then we would be able to testify if the Go programming language is successfully installed in our system. So after the verification, we are absolutely go to the next lesson to actually understand the Go language methods and to work something on the Go language. So it can take a few minutes. Okay, now here is the finish button. I need to click on the finish button. Now I have installed. Now here is the code editor. As you know, we are using the VSC, Visual Studio Code, for the Go language. So first of all, we need to make a new file in any directory you can choose in your system. I made the directory name as Go, and the file name I'm writing as index.go, and just go here. Okay, now first of all, we are gonna write a program. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what I'm doing because it is a little detailed things, but we'll talk about them later. Just do that what I'm doing by now. The package main, the import fmt, we are actually importing something in our program. Then func, it is a function. If you know some JavaScript or basic other functional languages, so you may know about this, but this is something new. fmt.println, we'll absolutely gonna talk about these things later, but not by now. Now hello world, the most famous sentence for the programmers is this one, hello world. Now okay, we have written something here in a document. Now how to testify this? I need to go there. I need to click on the terminal, and in the terminal all I need is to test this file. Okay, we are actually in the specific folder, the Go folder. That means we are inside this Go folder. No, all we need is to type the file name, but before that we need to run the command, the go space run space now the file name, which is index.go. Line break. Now The Avast is actually testing the file. Good thing anyway. Okay, now you can see that the hello world is there. Go run index.go hello world. Now you can see that the hello world is visible. That means the Go language is successfully installed in our system. So in the next video, we will talk about all these things later. Stay tuned. Goodbye. Hello and welcome back. So in this lecture, we're going to talk about this structure we just wrote in a last video. The very first thing is the package main. So what is this thing? The package main is actually the name of the package which actually gonna run the whole program. That means without this package, this program is not gonna run. We need to know that the Go language works on the packages. The packages are the base of the Go language. So if you have added the package main, so now because of this package, we're gonna actually get the result of all these lines. The second line you can see is fmt is a preprocessor command which actually gets data or imports data of fmt from this package main, the main package. So first we attached the package main, then we picked some data from this main package, and what the data we picked, we imported the fmt. Then after that, if you ever heard of the functions, or maybe you are from the JavaScript background or any functional language background, so this is a function. Interestingly, you do not need to call the function as generally in JavaScript. If you know some previous, you have experience with any programming language, so this is a function you've made. You cannot call this function unless you actually write the function name somewhere as a caller. But here you do not need this. You just need to write the function, and inside the main function means it is actually what we are gonna get on the screen. That means this is the area where the execution of the program begins, from there to there, there. Okay, you can add more things instead of just this single line. You can add more statements, more coding and more programming in this area, and whatever you add in this area, the main area, that things will automatically run through the compiler and you would be able to see them any result. Okay, so this is the interesting thing, the fmt.println. The println is a function. One thing you need to know, that whenever you see something with the curly braces, the parentheses, that is a function, the fmt.println parentheses. So this is a function, the println. And why we just added the fmt? Because we have imported the fmt, and we are actually using that fmt here. And because of this point, the period sign, we know that this println is coming from this fmt. So that means it is all connected together. Very simple, but you just need to focus on the logic behind it. The package main picks data from the fmt through importing, and then the data of the importing we are running inside the function, the println, from the fmt. So we're going to use this fmt multiple times, this package fmt multiple times. Now one more thing you need to know, that you have noticed that the p is capital in this println method. So in the Go language, a name is exported if it starts with capital letters. So this is actually exported. It's not from scratch we are making. It is actually we are picking from this main function, and the part of the main function which is called fmt. So the println is coming from fmt ultimately. So the p is capital. That means we are actually exporting it. These are some basic logics you just need to know. In the next video, we will talk about the basic syntax of the Go language. Hello and welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about the basic syntax for the Go language. In many programming languages, when you want to terminate any statement or end any statement, you add a semicolon. So this semicolon identifies that now this statement ended. Now if you want to start a new statement, you can add any space and even write something like that. Okay, just showing you as an example. But when we're talking about the Go language, we need to know that we just cannot add the semicolon. We have to go to the next line. So the line break, I mean this thing, pressing the enter key to add a line break, is actually the way to end any statement in the Go language. So ultimately you did it, you added a line break. So now you can add the further coding here. Now you might be thinking that why the function main didn't get break here when we added a line break, because the curly braces always looks for its end, because the curly brace is a pair, from there to there it is something which is connected together, but a single statement without and no, there is no any curly braces or something which identifies a connection. So here if you add a line break, you ultimately now able to add a new statement. So let me try this. Print ln second hello world. Okay, save it. Now I'm going to the here, and I am simply gonna run the terminal, and I'm running the file, and I got some different error anyway. Now I added the right thing. Now just go there and just line break. Okay, another one. Now this should be fine anyway. Now just run this one now. Okay, you can see that the hello world and the second hello world, that means both of them are here, so it is actually working fine. So this is how you just end any statement, by adding a line break. Okay, a few things more you need to know. The white space law. So for example, we didn't talk about the variables yet, but let me just draw something. The variables are something, you can say, a way to store data in the Go language, but we're not gonna talk about the variables specifically by now. Just to mention the white spaces, I'm using the variable. Okay, so I'm adding a var and I'm adding in space, then I'm typing something like val1, now space equals to, now here I'm typing val1 equals to 4. Okay, now val2 equals to 5 plus 8. Okay, they're showing a red line because the Go language thinks I did something wrong, and what wrong I did here is they're just unused. This is a great thing of the Go language anyway, that you just cannot import a thing which you are not using, or you cannot declare a variable if you're not using. So because these things can slow down the process, so for the better coding, it means you just cannot add something unused, and for proper readable documentation, the Go doesn't allow us to just add something which is you're not gonna use or you're not using anyway. So the better way is to comment them. We will talk about the comment later in this video. Anyway, for example, here I have added import fmt, but here I've used the import fmt. But if I just simply delete that, you would notice that here it's gonna be a bug. You can see that now the fmt now became a bug because imported and not used. That means we imported something we're not using, so we should not even import that. So anyway, we have to do like that, and then we are going down and we have to use that fmt package here again for the print ln, and here first of all we are calling the val1. Now you should notice that it became right, no bug anymore. It was not a kind of real bug, but just the Go language was not allowing us to do so, because the rule is we just cannot do add some unused things. Anyway, there the print ln val2, the if I just go there and if I just run that, you can see that first of all you should see the hello world and the second hello world, then 4 and 14. Okay, now the thing is, I have added in a space here, I have added in a space here, I have added in a space here. Okay, if I delete the space here and here and there and there, so it won't affect the coding. Just go there and check that again. So you would notice that you can see that the 4 and the 14, it is still exactly the same I needed. I can remove this space from here and from there too. So now if I just save it again, I would have the same result again, but I just cannot remove the space from here, because if I just remove the space from here, it won't be a keyword var anymore. I mean, we have to add some spaces at some places. For example, I'm removing this space. Now you can see that the bug, and what's the mean of the bug? We just even didn't define it. It's not unused anymore. We can call it unused even, because this is val2 and this is var val2, but what is the type of this thing? Here we're declaring it as a variable, then we are adding the name of the variable. We are first telling that we want to make a variable, then we are adding a variable name and the value. But here we are not identifying what is this thing, so we're not defining the method. So adding a space, now here this space is actually defining what is this thing, the var, and then a space and then val2. Okay, but unnecessary spaces are not important. Even these unnecessary spaces will be automatically ignored, so whether you add them or don't add them doesn't matter. So I'm removing these spaces, just simple like that. So anyway, you can see that the program is still the same. That means the spaces, the extra space is ignored. Even these spaces are ignored. You do not need to add these spaces. You can compress the program by this way. But for the code readability, especially for us, because we are just about to learn the Go language, I have added those spaces. You can see that it should be still the same. You can see that still we are getting the same result, but I'm adding these spaces because I'm just teaching the very basics by now. Anyway, what if we need to add something which is unused, but we want that in a document, so we may use that later. So for example, I'm making a variable. This is what we call comment in a programming language, and this is something another we're just talking in a video. For example, I'm making a val3, and the value for the val3 I'm adding as the 89. Okay, cool, but we're not using it. So how we can secure this thing while not using? So all we need to do is to add some comment here. Adding comment in a Go language is pretty simple. You just need to add the slash, and then you have to add the asterisk sign, but be careful, because once you add the slash and the asterisk sign, you can see that everything went green. So where you just want to add the comment, now I just wanted to add the comment here. Okay, so starting tag of the comment and ending tag of the comment, both are very important to identify which area of what code I want to comment. So you can see that this is now commented, and now ultimately this will be ignored by the compiler. Compiler just will not read it. Just go here and just practice this. You would notice it here. You can see that the 4 and 14. If I just remove the signs of the comment, just save it. Now I'm gonna have the bug, because it won't allow us to do that. The val3 declared and not used, so this is something not good for the Go language. So these are the basic logics we need to know, the basic syntax of the Go language. Now there is one very important thing you need to know. There are some keywords, or you can say reserved words for the Go language. For example, the var is a reserved word, so you just cannot use this word for a variable. For example, here I'm typing var, and then I'm using var again equals to 5. This is not a good thing to write the variable name. This is a single word by now, but this is not alone. We have many other reserved words. For example, the func is a reserved word. The import, the package, these are the reserved words anyway. So you can see that here, unexpected var, expecting name, you can see that. However, it is attached, but it won't work because it is not programmatically attached. So we are getting a syntax error. We just cannot use the var because it is a keyword. We can add something like var1. Now it should be okay. Now we would get the error like declared and not used, because now it is actually the var1 is declared. Now we're not calling it var, we're calling it var1. Var1 can be a word, but exactly the same reserved word cannot be used. This is the basic thing you need to know when you're making the values. One more thing you need to know, that the Go language is a case sensitive language. What's the meaning of the case sensitivity? For example, you have made a variable val1. So if you just make a variable here val v is capital, now val2, and here you're adding the value like 9. Now save it. Now I'm just commenting this. Okay. Oh, one more thing. If you want to commit a single line, you can add the double slashes. If you want to commit multiple lines, you can use this slash and asterisk, slash asterisk and slash. So you can use this here too. But if you're commenting a single line, so you just can simply add the double slashes just before the program or the line, till the end of the line. The comment will be applied. But on the other hand, you can add some more actual codes right after the ending tag of the comment. But here you cannot end this unless the line ends. You can just line break it like this one. So anyway, here we're gonna use this one. We're just going here, we're typing fmt.println and val2. Now v is capital by now. I'm going here and I'm just running this now, so we're getting the result. Okay, now first of all, the val1 is 4, so we're getting 4 here. In the val2 is 6 plus 8 equals to 14, and a val2 again, but this val2 has the v capital, so it is 9. So you can see that we are getting the 9 here. If I add the plus 20 or 28, save it. Now I'm going here and I'm gonna have the results anyway. So you would see that here the 14 and the 37, because 28 plus 9 is 37. So you need to know that it is case sensitive. You just cannot go with the v capital and the v small as a one thing. Both are different. There are some more things when we would talk about the variables, we would discuss them, but for now we was only discussing the basic syntax. So in the next lecture we're going to talk about something different. Till then, goodbye. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the data types. While working with any programming language, you have to know the data types. So you would know what you actually need to do. For example, here if you can see the double quotes, okay, but when you just go down and type the same thing almost, but here if you add it without single or double quotes and save it, and if you go there and if you simply you can see that you're actually getting the error right there because it's telling that unexpected world. If in case I go to terminal and if I just run this, you can see that the same error we got here we're getting in the terminal too. Why this is happening? Because this double quotes are indicating that this is in a string and there are no double quotes, so this is supposed to be not any string. If I go down and if I use the same thing again, fmt print ln, and if I just use here 7 plus 9, and if I just save it, and if I just go there, and if I just run this, first I think I would get, yeah, I'm getting the error because of it. I'm just making it commented, so now it's not gonna make any error anymore. I'm running the command again. Now it's gonna show us this 16. If I just go there and I just type print ln again, and if I just use 7 plus 9 inside the double quotes, just note what I'm doing here. Okay, now the 16 and the 7 plus 9, what's the meaning and what's the basic difference between them? It is now considering as in a string, and this is the integer and this is absolutely the string. Now let me first talk about the string by now, then we would proceed to the next. Any string is a kind of text in the programming language. I mean, wherever you want to add the text which you don't want to subtract, multiply, plus, minus, or anything, divide, I mean any kind of mathematical operation you don't want to perform, so you call that thing as text like this. Ultimately you cannot perform any kind of arithmetical operation on the hello world because this is the text after all, but you can program the variables. We just talked about the variables a very little. Absolutely, we have to talk about it later, but on the variables you don't need, you use the English words, but you don't use the double quotes or single quotes because they are variables. They are not ultimately the text, but this is the integer. Integer are something where you can apply arithmetical operations, but if you use double quotes around the integers, they won't be the integers anymore. They are now they became the string by now. This is the string because it has the double quote. Now it's the number, okay, this is the number and this is the text, but both are strings. I mean a number can be a string after all, okay, and a number can be an integer too. So this is what happening here, the string and the integer. Okay, so I'm just going down and I'm gonna talk about the more data types. fmt dot print, one data type is the boolean is actually cannot be used like this way, but the boolean can be used when we just want two kind of answers. Here I'm going with the comments like this one. Okay, when you want the answer to be true or false, you use booleans. These are actually called the booleans. When you want the answer as true or as false, you use the boolean. There are more types when we talk about the Go language. The one type is the variables too. So this one is ultimately a type. A variable is the data type which actually has nothing, which is itself nothing, but can store data. Like you can store some kind of data like var1, you can store 5 here. Now the variable has a data type, its own data type is variable, so as its name variable. So now the the value data type is integer. Okay, so this variable will behave like an integer. Just go there and type the str1 and here write something like hello there. Okay, now this variable will behave like an integer. This one will behave like an integer and this one will behave like a string. So why we are getting the red signs? Because we declared the variables and we are not using it, which is actually not a recommended thing in the Go language to have any unused variable anyway. So this is another data type which is variable. Okay, now in the same way we have some words like array data type. I'm just using the comments like this one because we didn't talk about the arrays yet. Anyways, arrays data type, the pointers data types, a lot of data types, but we would talk about them later. In the next lecture we would talk about the integer data types. So we would learn about the integers more in the next lecture. Stay tuned. Bye bye. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the integer types. This video is the complete theoretical video, so you just need to know a few facts about the integer types of the Go language. So this is why I'm just describing them here. So the very first integer type is the uint8. U integer means the unsigned integer, and because it is uint8 like this one 8, so this is actually the unsigned 8-bit integer. Again, I need these signs to make it good for us. Okay, this starts from 0 to 255. In the same context, there is another one which is uint16. It is 16-bit unsigned like this one, unsigned 16-bit integer. It starts from 0 and it goes up to 65535 numbered. This is a big digit after all. They're all considered as the integer anyway, but you know the levels. There is another one which is uint32 and it is again the unsigned 32-bit integer, and it starts from 0 to 429496795. It is a big number anyway. Now it comes to the basic integer. So this is actually, you know, signed integer, and this is called int8, not the uint8. So this is actually the signed integer. It starts from -128 to 127. This is the int8 integer, means the 8-bit integer. Now int16 here, which is again the signed integer. It starts from 32,768 to 32,767. Then if we talk about the int32, so it is again the signed. First I need to add the comments. Signed integer, which starts from -21474833648, and it goes up to 2147483 647. Okay, now in the same direction there is another one which is int 64, and if you go down it is again something interesting, integer, and it starts from, it's a real big number by the way, 9223367203685477808. Okay, and it goes up to 9223367203685477580. Okay, so now let's talk about another type of the integer, which is actually the floating points. Now we're talking about the floating points. We will discuss about them too, but by now, actually, what's the difference between a simple integer and the floating point? Floating point is like 5.20. It has the point. Okay, it is just like, decimal number. And an integer is like 5. An integer can be 5, 6, 7, 10, but the floating point can be 5.20, 7.39, like this one. There are multiple kind of the floating points in types, like if you talk about the types, there is the float 32, and it is a 32-bit floating point number. There is float 64, then there is complex 64, and then there is complex 128. These are the floating points. Now if I talk about how we actually can check the value of any number, to check the data type of any integer, all we need is to first make a variable, like I'm making the variable, suppose var3. I'm putting 5 here, and I'm going down and I'm typing fmt.print. I need to press F, and inside the F I'm going to type the var3, the variable. Here I'm adding the comma tn. Now save it. Now we just need to go there and we need to go to the terminal to check it. So we're gonna have the value, the data type, which is integer. If we actually make another variable, the var4, and equals to, I'm adding 5.34, and if I just duplicate that, simple, and I'm going here, and here I'm just making it var4, save, and now going back there. Now you would notice this is the integer and this is the float 64. This is how we can check the data types and the differences of the data types. So this is how it works. So in the next video we will talk about something more about the Go language. Till then, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the variables in the Go language. First of all, we need to know what are the variables. The very simple answer for this simple question is, variables are actually something which can store some data of any kind, like you can store some string, you can store some the integers, the floating numbers, or anything like that. You can store any kind of data in the variables. So let's just do something in the variable. First of all, we need to go with the the general way, the package which is main by now. Then we are using the import, and absolutely we're importing the fmt because we are going to use the fmt for the print ln formula. So here the func main parentheses curly braces, and inside the curly braces I'm gonna make the variable. I'm creating it with the keyword var. The var keyword is actually the reserved keyword for making a variable. That means you just cannot use the var keyword for making a variable or for using for yourself. It is the reserved word. Okay, now because we're declaring a variable, we just declared that we are actually now declaring the variable. Now let's just put the name of the variable. The variable name can be anything, it's on you, but you just cannot use a reserved word on a variable as a variable name. Like you just cannot use the var as a variable name because it's a reserved word, but you can use the var1. The var1, because we didn't add any space between them, so it is a fine word. So all you need is to just go here and add in space, and now you can add a value. I'm adding a value, I'm adding 3 here. Now line break, and now you can see that we are not using the fmt, so we are having some problem because fmt is important and imported and we are not using it. So now I'm using the fmt.println, and in the parentheses I'm adding the var1. This is what we already know. I'm going to the terminal. First I have to delete what I just programmed. Anyways, I'm going to the terminal, and here go run inix go, and here I got the 3. That means the value of this variable, the var1, is 3. Now what more required is I need to go here back, and what more we can do here, because we need to learn a lot about the variables. We just declared a variable. It is a good form. It's a fine variable. Okay, now I'm going down and I'm making another variable, var2. Okay, now here I'm declaring the variable type. I'm declaring it as integer, and here I'm using it the var2 equals to 5. But here we're getting an error. The var2 declared and not used go, or not used in go yet. Absolutely, we didn't use that. Here we did 2 things. We first declared it, and here we just added a value in it. Now let me tell you a few things. Here we're making it a dynamic variable. That means it has no fixed type. It is, if I type 3 here, that means it is integer by now. But if I just add the 3.20, now it became the float 64 as a data type. Let me delete that. Anyways, what if you just want to check the data type of the variable? So first of all, we need to call this, otherwise we're gonna have an error. So I'm going down and writing fmt print ln, and inside this I'm writing var2, so it is now right. Okay, because we were using this variable, we declared it and we added a value and we used it. Now I'm going down and I'm writing fmt again and printf, and inside it I'm just simply gonna do something like var1 type is var1. Okay, I'm going here and I'm writing this, and now I'm gonna get the result. Okay, it's telling the type of var1 is extra int3. Let me just use the simple syntax, and I'm going here and I'm writing this again. Okay, now you can see that the var1 type is int. That means now here we just write this and we just got it here var1 type is, and after the comma we got the var1. That means here is the formula int, it is int. But if you just make it 3.28, save it. Now just go here and just run this, and now you're gonna get something different actually. So you're gonna get that var1 type is float 64. That's absolutely tricky. Okay, now here we declared the data type here, the variable type here. So in the same manner, if I write the fmt.print, oh, there is no space, I need to add the printf, and here var2 type is, t n, adding a comma and var2 and saving. And now I'm going there back and just testing this out. So here you can see that the var1 type is float 64, but var2 type is int. Here we declared it. Now it is a static data type. That means this variable is actually static because we added the value, the data type here, and then we added the value here. But here we didn't mention the data type. Anyway, there is one more thing we should know, that var3, we can do another thing like int, or I'm gonna use the float 64 space, and then here I'm gonna add the value equals to, and I'm typing here 5.89. okay, now we're gonna have the error because we didn't use that, but it is declared. So absolutely I have to use it somewhere. I can use it in this way too, print ln. Okay, print ln var3, and just need to go here after saving that. I just need to go here, and now here we're gonna get multiple things. First of all, the 5.89, the 5, this is 5 and this is 5.89, the var3 is 89 and var1 is 3.28, and the var1 type is float 64, var2 type is integer, var3 type is, we didn't mention the var3 type. Let me just do that too, so you will be actually sure what we're doing. Is t n comma, oh, I used the wrong slash, okay, comma var3, save it. Now I just need to go there back and just need to run that again, and so I'm gonna get the result. The var3 type is float 64. Here we didn't define the type of this one, but we defined the type of this one. So this is a static variable, and this has almost the same value, but it is not the static value variable, it is the dynamic variable, and it has 3.28. you can see that the types of them are float 64. Both of them are float 64, but the value is you can see that here, the 3.28, the 5.89, and the 5. So this is how we declare different kind of variables. So there are a few more interesting things I want to talk by now. You can do one more thing, the var space var4. Now you can add a comma, var5, you can add another comma, var6, you can add another comma if you want one more, or if you just want 3 more variables, you can define their data types right now. I'm writing int as their data type. Okay, now I need to add, I'm having an error because we are not using them, but we just made them. Now what more I need to do, I need to go down, so I need to use them somewhere. So I'm just using them, print ln var4. okay, okay, I am using this, but it will be empty because we just declared that we didn't add any value. Let me just do that. You can see that now this is not in the red line, but these ones are. So the fmt.print ln, and here I'm writing var5, and I'm going down fmt.print ln the var6. Now save. Okay, let's just check the result we're gonna have, because ultimately we're not doing something very good. You can see that the values of the 4 5 6 are 0 because we just declared them. We didn't use them yet, but we declared. So you can see the value is just 0 by now, but you can add the value in them later, like the var4 first and space, and now here I'm adding the value as 9. I'm saving it. Okay, now if I just run this, I'm gonna have it a little changed. The 9, the 5.89, then the 9 is the var4 because we added the value of 9 with the var4, which is here. Then the var5 and then var6 are there. There is one more very interesting thing I want you to know about the variables. Here I'm declaring some more variables, the var6 and the var7, comma var8, comma var9. Okay, now I need to add the equal sign. Now, however, I'm not declaring their data types, so because they are dynamic kind of data types, so all of them can have different data types. So let's just do this. The first one I'm making as a string. So instead of typing the string, I'm just making it as a string. I need to put some value for the string. Is I'm writing here the foo, comma, I'm adding another one as a number 8, I'm adding a comma, and I'm typing the bar. Okay, save it. Now we have them and they have different kind of data types. This one is the string, this one is integer, this one is a string again. I'm going just there, fmt.println, and I'm writing here something like var7. Now we have one of them. Now I'm writing another one, the fmt.println, and here I'm writing var8, and I'm going down again and fmt.println, and I'm writing var9 here. Okay, now I need to go there and let's just check this out. Okay, you can see that the foo, 8 and bar, that means this way worked. That means we just did it. Now in the next lecture we're going to talk some more things, but you need to practice a lot for the variables because they're actually very important in your further lectures. We're going to use this thing, the variables, multiple times in future in our course. So stay tuned and goodbye. Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about the constant. So what are the constants? Before talking about the constants, we need to know a few more things about the variables. So let's just make a variable. I'm making a var here, var, and I'm making it something like x, and the value I'm adding is 5 or 6, whatever. I'm going down and I'm just using it, fmt print ln, and parentheses. Inside the parentheses I'm just calling the x. I'm going there and I'm running the go run index go, and there I am getting the 6. I got a 6 here because the result was 6. Okay, that's cool. Now if I just go down and I just call x again and add equal sign, and I add something like 10. Now I go down again, fmt print ln, and here I'm calling actually the x again. Now I'm going back, and here I'm just running the command again. Now you just need to see, first it is 6, second it is 10. You can see that there is same variable, the x, we have made it. Here we just called it, then we updated its value, then we call its value again, the x here again. So what is happening here, every programming language starts from the top. So first the compiler just reads it, the x, as 6, and it prints it at line number 9. But when it reaches to the line number 11, it reads that x is actually 10, but it actually clear that at line number 9 it was 6 when we used it at line number 9, but at line number 11 it became 10. So when it goes to the 13th line, and here we're calling the x again, so now the x is 10, not the 6, because it is updated in line number 11. So whenever we call the x before this update, it will be ultimately the print ln x, and you just need to go there and check that again. Here you're gonna get that 6 and 10, 6 and then again 6, because at line number 12, because programming language starts from the top, so the compiler doesn't know that it actually about to be updated at line number 13, so it just printed the x as 6 at line number 12. But when it got updated at line number 13, we are using it print ln and x again. Now we have 2-time calling of x at line number 15 and 16. Now you're gonna get that the 6 and 10, but right after this one again updating the value of x as 8, or why not make it 89, because let's just make some a little big value anyway. So here now 6, 6, 10 and 89. So when we update the variable, then after that whenever we use that variable, we will get the updated data. Okay, that's cool, but let's just make the constant by now. Now let's talk about the constant. Actually, a constant cannot be modified later. For example, to make a constant, you need to type const and add in space, just like we did with the x here. Just do the same almost, and I'm adding the value 12. Okay, now I'm going down. I'm doing everything I did with the variable. Oh, I do not need to call the x anymore. I'm going here and I'm just running the code, and now the code is it's actually, you can see that the 6, 6, 10, 89 and 12. This was 89 and this is 12. Well, one thing I just want to clear, that even we have made the constant here, we still can use the x. We can use any variable or constant throughout the script, but we just cannot use any constant or variable just before the making of them. I'm gonna demonstrate what I'm just telling, but by now I just wanted to show you this. Yeah, the 89 then 12 then again 89, because the x is actually 89 by line number 17. So after that, whenever we call the x, we're gonna get the 18, so we're 89, so we're getting the 89. Now we need to know that if we just do this by going here and fmt.println, and here I'm calling the x again, so you can see that undefined x. Wow, we just defined it here. Then why it is undefined? Because the compiler, the programming language starts from the top, so first it reads that the function. Now programming language, or actually the compiler, knows that in the Go language we are inside the function, which is main function, and the very first thing it reads is the fmt println. Whoa, we are gonna print something, but right after that when it reads the x, it knows that there is no x. It only reads these lines, so it stuck here because the x is not anywhere in these lines. For reading the x, it needs to go down, but the compiler has no eyes, so because it doesn't read the next lines, so according to the compiler it is an error. If I just go here and if I just run this, the command line arguments undefined x, if I just call this right here. And if I just run this again, and now you're gonna, here, the triple times 6 and then 10, 89, 12 and 89. Now let's just play with the constant. Now I am just updating the constant here because y is a constant, not a variable. So I'm just updating the value of the y up to 45. Now you can see that cannot assign to y. Why we cannot assign this? Because it's a constant. If I just try to print it again, even the script won't work because we did a big mistake here. The y, I'm calling the y here. I'm just running this. You can see that at line number 27 and the number 4, you can see that here cannot assign to y. Okay, so now this is how it works, and this is why the constant is different from the variable, that you just cannot modify the value of the constant. A few things you should know whenever you're making a variable. Here we're testing it, but when you're making variables or constant, because we can use any variable anywhere in a screen, so unless we actually need to create a new variable inside the script, just put that variable at the very top. So it'll make the script more cool and more efficient. Now you're not gonna have any error. So in case you just thought you just need to make the variable x here, and you just need to make the variable here, but then you realize that you need to use that x variable there. So what you will do, maybe you can forget that. So whenever you're creating a variable, you should create that at the very top. But absolutely, when you're modifying the data of the variable, again, you just cannot modify the data of the the constant, so it doesn't work. But when you're modifying the variable's data, so it has to be at the place from where you want to start the modification, or you want the to use the modified version of the variables. Suppose if I just added the 16th at the line number 16, I just updated the value of the x, but at the line number 15 I should get the result of this x as 6, but after the line number 16 I should get the result as 10. So if I just pick this up and just paste it here, right here, and if I just go here and if I just run this, I'm gonna get something different. The 10, 10, 10 and 10 and 10, and then 89 and 12 and 12, because I just added the modified version of the x at the very top. So for the modified version or the modified x or any variable, we should remember from where we need the modification. So this is how it works. Also, one more thing, let's just clarify if you have the question too. Now I'm making it back to 6. It was 6, made it 10, and just made it back the 6 again. I'm just going here and just printing it out. Okay, and here the 6, 6 and 10, and again 6, then 89, then 12, then 89 and 12. But this looks so manual. Let's just do something interesting. I'm going here and I'm assigning the value of x to any other variable. Let's just make a new variable. I'm making a variable z. I'm going down and I am just making it integer, and here I'm not using it by now. So the value of z is equal to the value of x. It is quite interesting. If you just noticed, it is giving an error, then why it is actually counting the z as an error? Because we didn't just use this. Again, the same thing, because the z is declared here and we added the value even, but we are not using it yet. So I'm just using the z right after the very last update of the x. fmt.println, in here I'm using the z here. Save it. Now there is no error anymore. If I just go here and I'm just printing it out, okay, now you can see that this one is right before the first 89 there. This one is the first 89. It is 6. This one is 6. Just to detect the right value, not to confuse, I'm just doing it the z here. Save it. Now just run this again and you're gonna get the actual z place. Yeah, the z here. Now this 6. Okay, now we just used this one right after declaring, right after actually modifying the value of x, but you can see that it's 6 still. Now if you want to just make the x back to the original form, because we added the actual value of x to the z, so right here what I just need to do this thing what I just did. Now here I have declared the x and given the value 6, then declared the z and given the value, actually given x. Now ultimately the value of x, now the value of z. Okay, now here the x became 10, then 6, then 89, then here, because I know that z is actually now have the value of x, so the z has 6 or whatever number this will have. So I just actually modified the x again and added the value of z, added z here. So ultimately the z's value is now added to the x. So as you know, the z has the original value of x, so now the original value of x is assigned to x again. Just make it 7,000 or the random number. Now this is actually programming. We're not giving the value manually here. We are assigning the original value of x to x. So this is what we are doing here. It is quite simple. Anyway, I'm just going here and just running this up, and now you're gonna see that the original value was 7547. Now it's 7547, and then again the 7547, because after assigning the z, the original value of x to the x, we're calling the x again. So I think you just now know how it works. So in the next lecture we're going to talk about the different operators, the arithmetic operators, the assigning operators, because now we're going to use the operators in the programming. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the mathematics in the programming languages, specifically the Go language. How interesting it is that if you know the mathematics, and now you're going to apply the mathematics in the programming, in making a program using the Go language. A programming language is actually consists of mathematics, formulas of mathematics, arithmetic, different kind of operators we will have using the mathematics. But the more interesting thing is when it comes to the operators, the mathematical, specifically the arithmetical operators, then we will actually design how the application will work and how it will decide what to do. Yeah, using different kind of conditions, we use the mathematics to program a program to do something specifically at a specific time. Let's just discuss about it. To initiate this thing, we first need to use the fmt println, and like that I'm going here, and inside that I'm writing hello world. Saving it. I need to change this single quote with double quote, and I'm doing that by now. Here, now save it. Now it's all fine. All I need to go there, and absolutely the terminal, and the terminal needs to be loaded, and right there I need to write the go command, go run index.go and line break. Okay, I got the hello world, that's fine. Right after that I'm writing again the fmt and print ln, and inside that I'm actually typing 5. Now okay, save it. Now I'm going there back and I'm just running this. Okay, I got 5. Perfect. Now if I just go there and I just write fmt again, print ln, and if I type 5 plus 9, save it. Now I'm going back there and I'm just doing that. Now you can see that this is 14. What's the meaning of 14 here? The 5 plus 9. Now this is the arithmetical operator we have used in this program. In the same logic, if I just go down and if I just write the fmt print ln, and like that I'm typing here 6 minus 5. Now I need to save it and I need to go there and I need to just do this one. Okay, now it is 1. 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. Okay, fine. But you know, the algebra, what's the algebra and how we can use the algebra in the programming? Just look at it. If I just make it 5 and I make it 6, now save it. Now I'm going here and I'm just testing this up, and now I'm gonna get the -1. What's the meaning of the -1? In general, you know, because we cannot just subtract the 5 into 6 pieces, so ultimately it is -1. But if you just notice, the 5 has the plus, you know, plus. In algebra we don't write plus. Ultimately every symbol has a plus sign unless we add the minus or subtract sign, minus or, you know, subtract, or the product sign, or the divide sign, or anything like that. The 6 has the you know, minus sign, so plus minus is minus, so we're gonna actually subtract them. And because 6 is capital, so there with the answer we are adding the 6, the operator which is with 6. So this is how somehow you can see that it is algebraic too. So anyway, this is the very basic operators. There are more operators. I think we should talk about the basic operators. You already know. 5 multiplied by 6. Now I'm going here back and I'm just running that. Now you're gonna have the 5 multiplied by 6 equals to 30. Okay, go there back and fmt print ln, and here like that 5 divided by 6. Now I'm just going there back and I'm just running that again, and I'm gonna have the 0 as a result if we divide both of them. Okay, now fmt dot print ln, and I'm going here the 5 modulus 6, save, go here and run this up, and now I'm gonna have the 5 as a result here if I just use this command. Anyway, there are some more interesting things in the programming we might not know, because this is not simply the mathematical thing. If I write 5, but if I add double 2 times actually the plus sign, okay, we are having a bug here. Let me just write a variable. I'm making a variable d and writing 5 here. Now ultimately the variable d is equivalent to 5, so I'm deleting this one, and after deleting that I'm just making a new fmt right here, print ln, and I'm going inside and I'm writing d++ and saving it. Okay, let me do it in a modification way. So I'm just deleting this. I'm just going there and simply d++, save it. Okay, now I'm just going there and you're gonna get something interesting. Just look at it. Here, the d was 5 initially. Okay, D became, we added the increment sign with the D. The increment operator, actually what it does, it makes any value, it actually adds 1 to any value. Like D was 5, it became 6. Okay, it is very simple. Now the D is 6 by now. If you just go there and add another plus increment sign and just go there, and if you just run this up, you should see that now it was because of the incrementation operator, it became 6, and there at line number 24 it became 7, and there when we printed it, it printed the 7 actually. But in the same direction, we have something which we are going to apply to the same D. We can make a new variable too, but we are actually, oh, I think it would be more good if we apply it with the new variable. I'm using the 5 again. Okay, now I'm first of all I'm fmt printing it dot fmt dot println, and I'm just going inside and I'm just calling it. Now you're gonna see that, and here you can see that it is 5. Okay, cool. Now just go down and I'm just calling the f and subtract sign 2 times, which is actually the decrement operator. Just go there, fmt println, and I'm going inside and I'm just writing f again and saving it, and I'm just going there and I'm just running this up, and now you're gonna see that it is 4. Okay, now I'm here adding another decrement operator with the f, and just writing f again and just going there and just running this up, and now you're gonna see that, come on, here it is 3 by now. Now what if we apply the plus signs, the increment operator with the f? Let me do that, the plus sign, and here fmt.println spelling, and I'm just going inside and I'm just writing f again. You can see that we're just printing the f, and I'm just going there and just test this out, and now it is 4 again. And if I just write the plus sign and then again the plus sign and then again the plus sign and then save it, and now I'm just going here and just test this out, you can see that it became 7 by now. The 3 and the 7, 1 2 3 4 4 plus 3 equal to 7. So now here the 7 is printed. So these are some arithmetic operators. We're gonna discuss some more operators like assignment operators, the comparison operators, etc. in the next few videos. So stay tuned and bye-bye. Hello and welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about the assignment operators. The very first assignment operator you already know is the one which it assigns value to the variable, like if I type var and I type equal sign and I type 5. Now this is the assignment operator. The very first assignment operator is this one. It's also called a simple assignment operator anyway. Like if you add another variable right now, var2, and you add a value of 7, and you just go down and write var and write var1 equals to var2. So ultimately now the var1 value is equal to the value of var2, means it is 7 by now. So this is just a case. If I just go there, it's telling me that declared in this block previously declaration etc. Oh, actually I should not do this thing. Now it is better. Anyway, this is how it works. So we just assigned the value of var2 to the var1 using the assignment operator. There are some more things. Let's just check this out. The value of the var1 by now. I'm just going to the terminal. Come on, here is the terminal. I'm clicking on the terminal, and right now I'm just running the file. You can see that the value is 7. Okay, now if I just go down, because I'm gonna learn about some more operators, the assignment operators by now. So I'm writing var1 space. Now what if I want to add some more value? I mean, instead of completely modifying, I want to add 2 or 3 digits. I want to add the value 3 to the value 7. So if I add 3 with this 7, it should be 10. So I don't want to do something like this one, no, but I want to add actually 3. And how I can do that? There is a simple way. I can do var1 plus 3. Save it. Now actually I'm giving var1 a new value. I'm actually assigning var1 again to the var1, but this time I'm actually adding the 3 to the var1. Now right after that I'm writing fmt.println, and here I'm printing the var1. I'm going there and I'm just running this, and now you're gonna see that now it is 10. You can see that the 7th because of this one, and this is 10. So you can see that it's working fine, but it's a little lengthier process. This process can be a little simple. Let me just tell you how. All you need is, first of all, make it the commented, and I'm just going there and I'm writing var1 space plus an equal to sign and a space, and now just write 3. And if I just go there and if I just run that again, you would see the same value, the 7, because of this one. If I just make it commented, so save it. I do not like these things. Anyway, now you should get only 10 because of this thing. Now what's happening here? This operator is add and assign operator. Now we are not only assigning this 3 to the var1, we are doing it add and assign. So first we are adding the value 3 and then we are assigning it. Okay, so it's actually appending the value of the var1 and adding some new perks in it. So now it became the 10 and it printed here. Once we just called it the fmt.println. So in the same way, there are some more operators. What if I just want to subtract some value? All I need is to go here and write var1, and I can do this way. This way. Now var1 minus 3 or minus 4 by now. Just go down and I'm just writing fmt.println in here. I'm writing var1 and I'm just making it print again, and now I'm just going there. It was 10, till the line number 15 it was 10, and then here I'm just running. Okay, now it's 6 because it was 10. So now we just subtracted 4 from the 10th, so it became 6. But this is again the lengthier way. Let's just go with the easier one. I'm writing var1 in this way, n equals 2, and I'm writing minus subtract sign and the 4. Save it. Now okay, this should be here. Save it. Now I need to go here and I need to test this again, and now you're gonna see that we got the same result here, the 6. That means it's actually working fine. There are some more operators in the same way. We're gonna discuss them, and right after that I'm just gonna call them like the 1. Now if I just want to multiply some value while having this value, it was 6 by line number 21, and at line number 23 I'm doing something new. So the product sign, it should be here, product sign, and equal to sign and space, and I'm just typing 3. So 6 multiply by 3, and I'm just going here and fmt.print ln, and here I'm writing var1 again and saving it. I'm going there and I'm just running this up, and now 6 multiplied by 3 equal to 18. So I got it. So this is the multiply and assign operator. In the same direction we have something more. Let's just do that too. The var1. Now here we're dividing it, and I'm dividing it with 5, and I'm just going down in fmt.print ln. In here I'm writing var1 and saving. Now at line number 25 it was 18. Now we are dividing 18 with 5. Let's just go there and just test this up, and now it became 3. If you divide 18 with 5, it became 3. Okay, now in the same direction I'm just going down and I'm writing var1, and I'm here using the modulus sign equal to, I'm writing 4 here, fmt.print ln. Now it is 3, remember that, the var1 and save, and now going here and just running this up. The modulus answer is again 3. Anyway, it is working fine, so it's all good. In the next video we will talk about some different operators like the conditional operators or the comparison operators. So stay tuned and goodbye. Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about the comparison operators, but to learn the comparison operators, first we need to learn about the if and else statements, the decision making statements, because the comparison operators actually works with the decision making statements. So I'm not gonna actually discuss in detail with the decision making statements by now. Just to let you know how the comparison operator works, I'm just gonna introduce you the if statement by now. Anyway, this is how it works. First you need to add the if command and the parentheses and the curly braces. Here in its parentheses you add the condition for the statement, and here you add the block of code which will run on the certain condition. For example, I'm just adding here fmt.print ln, and here I'm typing something like hello world, and here you add the condition like you can add something like 5 is equals to or less than 6. Okay, here you've added a condition. Now you just learned a new thing. This is the comparison operator. This is just an example. There are many other comparison operators just like that. This is the less than sign, and it is telling that the 5 is less than 6. If this is a true condition, this block of code will be printed. Let's just go there and just check this out if it is actually true. Okay, I got the hello world. That means it's actually working. So we are going in the right direction. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the comparison operators, which are also called relational operators in the Go language. In generally we call them comparison operators anyway. So what are the comparison operators? We actually make a condition by comparing two operands. or to different kind of data. We can even use the text, we can use the numbers. Mainly it works with the arithmetical numbers, or you can say the integers or floating numbers. Let's just do this by here. And because of the comparison operators, or you can say the relational operators according to the Go language, we actually learned the if and else program because of this. So let me just do some of it. First of all, we're getting this notifications. I'm gonna cancel all them. Okay, so here in this way I'm going here. Okay, and that again, come back here. I'm going just here. Okay, so here first of all I'm adding a condition. So what condition I'm just adding here can be like 6. Okay, now there are many different relational operators. We are calling them relational operators specifically because we are talking about the Go language mainly here. So the 6 equals to 6. Now interesting thing is this is not an equal sign or equal. Actually this is an equal sign, but this is not the equal operator in any programming language, or specifically the Go language anyway. Okay, this is called the assigning operator spelling. Okay, let me just go here. Right, and this is an equal to operator. Interesting. Now if you say 6 equal to 6 or 5, now we are actually assigning 5 to 6, but we cannot do this because the 6 is a number, it's not a variable. So we use the assigning operator or the equal sign to assign data to the variables, like var1 equal to 6, and now here var, or just calling var1 and equal to 9. Now we are modifying the value, just delete that. Okay, awesome. Now we are just modifying the value. The var1 was 6, and now here we just assigned the value of 9. Okay, but if we just go here in this way, so now we are not assigning, we are asking if these are equal to each other, and ultimately we are actually gonna get the answer as false because the var1 is not equal to 10. And how we can actually test this thing? We just need to go here. Oh, actually we need to go there. I'm deleting these things, or at least these things, and I'm just going here, just cutting that and pasting it a little higher so it won't move. And here, if 6 is equal to 6, then fmt.println, and here inside that I'm writing something like hello, or something like the statement is okay. Save it. Now just go here and run this up and just test if it's fine. Okay, we're getting this statement is okay. That's cool. Now what if we do something different, like if I just go here and I type 6 is equal to 8? Oh, that's not true at all. So what the answer we're gonna get here, it should be inside the statement is, I'm typing okay again anyway, but here just notice, okay, we're getting this statement is okay one time, or just to differentiate them, 1, and here I'm writing 2. Now go there back, just run this up, and now you're gonna see that the statement is okay 1, only what 1 is printed here. The 2 is still there. That means it's not printed because it is wrong. Okay, so what do we do in this case? I need to go here and I need to write again something like that. But for now, I'm going to change the operator. If I want to put the wrong value, by intention, I want to add the wrong value, like this one and this one. Okay, 6 is not equal to 9, but I want it to be true. That means I want this statement to be true, so I need to change the operator. Okay, I'm changing it to the not equal to. Okay, this is exclamatory sign, and the equal sign makes the not equal to operator. Literally, if I just go here and let me add it in a list, this is not equal to operator. Okay, awesome. Let me just go here and go inside and fmt.println, and here I'm writing the statement is okay, and it's number 3. Just go there back and test this up, and now here you can see that the statement is okay 1, the statement is okay 3, but the statement is okay is 2 is still not okay. So what is the meaning actually? This operator means not equal to. So ultimately this whole condition, this whole condition is true, because we're telling if just start reading from here according to the operator, we're telling us that if 6 is not equal to 9, then print this. Okay, so because 6 is not equal to 9, so according to this operator not equal to, the statement is true. So to get this block, we need to get the statement must be true. We will discuss about the if and else statements, specifically the if statement later, so no problem. We are actually talking about the operators by now. So I hope you just got cleared the concept of the not equal to. So in the same way, we are just going to learn some other comparison or the relational operators in the Go language. So here I'm asking if the 6 is less than, this is the less than sign. Okay, we're asking if the 6 is less than 7. Okay, so just go here and I'm writing fmt.println and just go inside the statement 4 is okay. Okay, let's just test this out. I'm just going here and let's just run it, and now you can see that the statement is okay 1, the statement is okay 3, the statement 4 is okay, but still the 2 is not okay. But what if we just, I'm just doing a wrong thing by now. Here the 6 is, or if I type the 7 is less than 6. Now what gonna happen here? The print ln, and I'm going inside the statement 5 is okay, and save it again, and just going here and just running this up again, and now you can see that the statement 4 is okay, but still you're not getting the statement 5 is okay. Okay, because this 7 is not less than 6. So in this case we need to use the greater than sign. So I'm just going to use the greater than sign. Okay, now the greater than sign means the closed mouth, the open mouth is on the left side, and the closed mouth is on the right side. It is a greater than sign. So now 7 is greater than the 6. So now it should work. If I just go here and if I just try to run this up, and now you're gonna see that the statement 5 is okay. Okay, now one more very basic logic. If you maybe you can forget this thing, that which is the less than and the greater than sign, but it is very easy. Where you see 2 points, that value, if that value is big, then the statement must be true. Just focus here. Okay, the 2 points of this array, this arrow, you see the 2 points, which is actually the open mouth. The open mouth is on a 7. If the open mouth is where the value is bigger, then a statement is true. And see here, the same thing, 7 is on a left side. Now here it was on a right side, but the open mouth is on a left side too. Okay, so this statement is true. So I think this is now cool. Now if I just do one more thing right here, if what if I write something like 7 greater than 7? Oh, that's tricky. Let's just see what the answer we're gonna get. Print ln, and inside that I'm writing the statement 6 is okay. Save it. Now I need to go here and just check if it's fine. Okay, we're not getting the statement 6. Now let's just try to make it the greater than sign instead of the less than sign. Save it. Now now we've used the greater than sign, so I'm going there back, and now I'm running it, and now it's still we're not gonna get the statement 6 is okay, because it's not okay in both cases. So what is the solution? They're not greater than each other, they're not less than each other, they're equal to each other. So you can use this sign. Okay, this sign. Okay, what's the meaning of this? It is telling that if the 7 is greater than or equal to 7, here we are adding two kind of values. If 7 is greater than or equal to 7, I think it's pretty simple. Just go here, it's absolutely equal to 7, so we're gonna get the statement 6 is okay. And in the same direction, if I just go here and I write if I'm just going here, I'm writing 6. Now I'm using the less than sign. If 6 is less than, here we talked about the greater than or equal to. Here we're telling if 6 is less than or equal to 7. Here are still a few things you need to know. I'm gonna talk about them too. Statement 7 is okay. Save it. Now I need to go here, I need to run that up. Now the statement 7 is okay because the 6 is less than or equal to 6, but the 6 is less than or equal to what? Equal to 6. But what if I just go here and make something new? Let me just write it. 6 is less than or equal to 8. Oh, this is now tricky again. Print ln, and I'm writing here the spelling. Statement 8 is okay. Save it. Now I need to go here and run this up. Go run in Xcode. Okay, the statement 8 is okay. Okay, now because the 6 is less than 8, okay, it's not equal to. Now we have two kind of conditions here, because it's supposedly one operator which actually pose two kind of conditions. Oh, and we have to be true in either one condition. So here you can see that the 6 is not equal to 8, but 6 is less than 8. What if I just use the greater than sign? Now if I just go here and I run this, and now I'm not gonna get the 8 is okay anymore, because the 7 is okay is the last one, because the 6 is not greater than 8. Ultimately it's less than 8, and 6 is even not equal to 8. So in both conditions, this condition is false according to this operator, which is greater than and equal to. So this is why this block of code is not working. So I think now you're understanding all of the logic of these interesting blocks, the comparison or the relational operators in the Go language. So in the next video, we're going to talk about some logical operators. They are very interesting. You must know them. But before learning the logical operators, you must need to completely understand the comparison, or actually the relational operators in the Go language. Actually, because of I work on many programming languages, so I normally call the relational operators as the comparison operators because it's a general name. Anyway, in the next video, we'll meet again. Hello and welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about the logical operators. Logical operators are pretty simple. Actually, what they do is simply you need to have two values. Either of one should be okay, or both should be okay, or both should be negative, something like that. Let me just apply that. Actually, it depends on two kind of comparison operator statements. Let me just do that by now. For example, here what I'm asking that if like that, I'm sick of these things anyway, but let me close that anyway, save it, and here I'm writing if 6 equal to 6. If this statement is true, then this should be shown. Here I'm writing fmt dot println, and like that I'm going inside and I'm writing something. The statement 1 is okay. Okay, fine. Let me just double check here. Oh, come on. Yeah, you can see that the import fmt. Okay, everything is fine. Now what more is required? I just need to go there and run this statement, and absolutely I'm gonna get the statement 1 is okay, because it is absolutely okay. But for example, now it is not okay. Save it. Now go back here and just check this out. So we got that the statement 1 is not okay anymore, because you can see that there is no print of the statement 1 is okay anymore. Now if we want to give it another chance, so we can use the pipes, the two pipes in space now, and write 5 equal to 5 and save it. Okay, now what we are actually doing here, we are actually making two statements. Okay, either of them should be true, this one or this one. Okay, this is actually a kind of logical operator. This is the logical operator, and this is called the or logical operator, like that. Let me just logical operator, OR. Okay, now in this statement, either of them should be true. So this one is true, so we're gonna get something true there. So you can see that the statement is okay. The statement 1 is okay. Okay, now I'm going just there and I'm writing another statement, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why these things are important. So here I'm writing 5 equals to 5, and here I'm using this sign. Okay, the end sign. Four is less than 6. Okay, fine. Now fmt print ln, and here the statement 2 is okay. Now save it again, just go here and run this up, and here the statement 1 is okay, the statement 2 is okay. Now both are okay, because it's not the equal to operator statement, but it's ultimately true. The 4 is actually less than 5, 6 actually. So This is fine. Now, what's the difference between these two operators? This is the OR operator, and this one is the AND logical. So what's the basic difference between those? This one is AND. That means around this operand, both of the values must be true. The 5 equal to 5 and the 4 less than 6, both are true. And in this case, any one of the both sides has to be true. So this one, the right one, was true, so it printed this line. But here both are true, so this printed this line. But what if I just go here and if I just write if, now I'm gonna make one wrong here. 5, or let me write 8 greater than 10, and 9 equal to 9, and save it. Now I'm going here, inside this fmt print ln, and here I'm going inside again. Come on. Okay, here I'm writing the statement 3 is okay. Save it. Now just go here, and we should get the statement 3 is okay if this is working. No, it's not working. You can see that it's false. The return of this comparison operator is false. The return of this comparison operator, I mean the equal to sign, is true, and the return of this operator is ultimately false, because the left side of this is wrong and the right side of this is right. So because this is the actual condition, so this is producing false to this overall statement. So because of that, this block of code is not visible. So if I just make both of them true, like if I just do this one and save, and now if I just go here and I just run this up, and now I'm gonna get the statement 1, 2 and 3, all of them are right. Okay, now if I just change the sign of this, remember both of the sides are right by now, but if I just make it like that, now save, now go back there, and if I just run this up again, and now there, all of them are true, because it is okay if any one of the both sides, when we are using this operator, is true, then it is fine. But if both are true, then it's also fine. At least one of the side has to be true. Now if I just use the greater than sign again there in this way, and if I just save this up, and if I just go there, and if I just run this, and now we're gonna get the all of them are true. However, one statement is wrong. But if I just make both of them wrong, like 4 cannot be equal to 9, so let's just check that back, and now we're gonna get the 1 and 2 statements true only, not the third one. So this is ultimately not true by now, because of this operator needs at least one of the sides has to be true. Okay, so these are the two logical operators. There is one more logical operator which is quite interesting. You're gonna learn that by now. Okay, now 7 is equal to, or let's just change it, is greater than 3. Save it. Now I'm going inside fmt.print ln, and here the statement 4 is okay. Save it, and now here let me just change it. Okay, now I'm gonna go there, and now just gonna run that. Now statement 3 is actually wrong, but statement 4 is okay. It is ultimately okay. But what if I do something quite different? Now I'm actually asking if exclamatory sign, the parentheses, and just cutting this statement off and pasting it inside. Now save it. Now here I'm gonna run that and I'm gonna have, okay, you can see that the statement 4 is wrong by now. What's the meaning? Actually, this sign is actually called the not operator, not. Okay, so what is this producing? This is producing the positive, the true result, okay, the true condition. But we just want it to be not true because we applied this one. Okay, so if it is true, so it became not true. Getting the point? And if it is not true, then ultimately it is false. So this not operator is turning it to the negative, or actually the opposite form. So opposite, to just make it negative, to get the positive, the true one, and make it opposite of the result we're getting here. I'm writing here 7 is less than. It is quite interesting. I know you can be confused for a while, but it is very simple. You just need to know the not operator. Okay, now 7 is less than 3, but absolutely 7 is not less than 3. 7 is bigger than 3. But if I just run this up here, I'm gonna get the statement 4 is okay, because here, what if we are telling, what if the 7 and 3 less than 7 is less than 3 is not true. Okay, now this if is actually now depending on this not operator, and this is actually the main operator here, not this one. So this is producing a negative result, which is because of the not operator. It is turning it into the positive result. So now this is making the not statement is making the statement true. So we are telling that it is not true. Yeah, it is not false, something like that. Okay, so we're getting this statement. I think it is pretty simple. You just need to focus more a little if you're actually confusing this statement. Anyway, what are the meanings of these results and why we use the logical or the AND or logical operator? Just to make it sure, I'm just writing something like, I'm just going here at the very top, because the rule is whenever you're making a variable, you should make it at the very top. So I'm making it very top. Right here, the var1 equals to, or let me just do it very true, user. I'm writing John, and I'm going down. Okay, var pass, I'm writing here monkey 321. Oh, I'm not gonna put this space. Okay, fine. Now they're giving us the the right line, because we just made these two variables, but we didn't use that yet. So statement, the script won't work. Actually, this is the limitation, or actually this is a restriction, which is actually good in the Go language. This is not in every programming language, but in a Go language, when you make a variable, you just cannot leave it without using. This is considered as a mistake. Anyway, we just made it. We're gonna use that. Here we are verifying if the user is equals to John, and now we need to get both of them true. So here, and the password is equals to John and the monkey 321. Save it. Okay, now we need to remember one thing, that when it comes to the strings, the alphabets, you can say the text, it is case sensitive. If the John was written, just check here, so you would notice the John is written in a small letters, so there all of them must be small letters, otherwise it's gonna ignore that, because the capital John or the capital J John is a different thing, and the small j John is a different thing. and in a password the monkey321. Okay, I've added the same thing there. If I just look at this, the monkey321. Okay, now when we need two statements or the two conditions to be true, okay, we use two conditions with logical and operator, and we need two conditions must be true to show something like, fmt.println, and here you are successfully logged in. So just to make this statement, you are successfully logged in, we need to have both of the conditions to be true. Okay, now just run this up, and now because of the password is okay, so you're successfully logged in. If you put any side wrong, like I'm adding monkey31, it was monkey321, so I'm not gonna get this. You can see that this one is not true by now. So this is here I need to change again now. Okay. Now this is why we use AND operator, and in some cases where we need to have at least one to be true. For example, if user, or here you want to write something like one of the value is true, but we need both to be true. Now in this case we can use the this one, and I can write something like that, and absolutely this is the password is wrong but the user is true, so it's gonna tell us that at least one of the value is true, but we need both of them to be true. Okay, so this is why and how we use this AND and OR operators. So I think we just learned the logical operators and a practical example of this. So in the next video we're going to talk about the if and else practically, the decision making things of the Go language practically. We just talked about the if not else yet. We just talked about the if because of the comparison operators and the logical operators, but later we're gonna actually talk about the if and else, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're gonna talk about the if statement once again. Just to make sure that you actually understood it, I'm just gonna make a video about it. So it would be a continuation because we are going to talk about the if statement, different clauses of a statement more in the next few videos. So this is an if statement. Okay, we use parentheses with it, and we use the curly braces as the piece of code which would work if this condition is true. By now we have nothing in its condition, and the piece of code is empty, or you can say the block of code or something like that, but it's empty. Both are empty by now. Okay, so to make the condition we have to use some arithmetic operators and some operands. We can use two kind of operands here. Okay, or we can get just to get the condition as true, we can do a lot of things. Just suppose if I just go there and if I just write the fmt.fprintln and I type here statement 1 is okay. Okay, but it's not yet okay because we're gonna make it. So we have to go here and we have to write something to make a condition. I'm making here, I'm simply going here and writing false. I'm not actually using any kind of relational or the comparison operator or the logical operator here. We're actually using the direct thing, the false, the statement actually false here. I'm going here and I'm just running this, and you can see that I got nothing. But just if I just make it true and I save it and I just go here now, it's gonna be the true, because now this condition is actually returning true to us. Okay, now This is the very basic logic of the if statement. If you're actually getting the true from this statement, or you're actually getting the false from this statement, we are getting true by now. So I can delete that. I can write something like 9 equals to 9. Now this gonna produce a true condition because 9 is actually equal to 9. So this statement will be true. We're not going to talk about the if statement a lot because we discussed the relational operators and the logical operators using the if statement a lot, but just to make sure that you didn't miss any point of the statement, because we talked about the relational operators and the logical operators, but we didn't specifically talked about the if statement yet. Anyway, here you can see that the statement 1 is true. So in the same way, you actually need to produce something true here. Okay, now if suppose this is wrong and you want to give it a next chance, so you can use the logical operator. Oh, I just added 3 bytes, which is wrong. So 9 is not equal to 8, so this statement is going to be true, wrong. But if I just do this, now here we're telling that 9 is equal to 8, which is false, which is producing false. And here 9 is not equal to, this statement, this operator, not equal to operator tells that 9 is not equal to 8. So ultimately this statement is true. However, 9 is not equal to 8, but this is what we were asking. And because of this operator, the OR logical operator, at least one side of this operator is true. So we got the, if I just go here and if I just run this up, so now you can see that statement 1 is okay. Okay, so because this is true, so I think now you know the if statement in more detail. In the next lecture we're going to talk about the else statement, which is a little different thing. So stay tuned and goodbye. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the else of the if. What's the meaning of else actually? For example, here we're writing something like if, and again we're using 8 is less than 10. Okay, save it. Now I'm going here and I'm writing fmt.println, and here we're getting the data. We're writing something like we can use the same technique. The statement 1 is okay, that's actually fine. Save it. Now I'm going here and I'm actually running the terminal, and now excuse me, we've got the statement 1 is okay, that's fine. But what if it's not wrong? If I write something which will produce false instead of true, now just do the same and you're gonna see that we're not gonna get anything because the statement is wrong. Now in this scenario, what we can do and what we have to do, for example, this statement is not working, so in the result it's actually just like vanished. We do not know in the result that if we have any statement or no. When we were just right here, we got nothing, like that, we got nothing. So we do not know if we even added coding or no. This is just like we didn't even add the if statement at all. So if I just do this, it's still, I'm gonna get the same result. So in this scenario, okay, I'm gonna get the error by the way, because it's telling that the import fmt being used by me, being imported by me but not used yet. Now if you just check, it is just not like here, it's not in a coding form. We're not getting anything. Oh, again, because of this thing we're getting the error. Anyway, so what we can do, just enable it, but as you know, it's still not in a working position in a result. So what more we can do is add the else. This is why we use else. Go inside and write the fmt.println, and inside that the statement 1 is not okay. Okay, this is changed. Let's just capitalize not. Okay, what does this mean and how it works? First, just test this out. You can see that the statement is not okay. Okay, now here, excuse me. Okay, here, if this piece of code is not working on the base of this false condition, okay, if the condition is false and this piece of code is not working, so we have the ability to add the else. And what the else block does here, it actually adds a new piece of code. Okay, it won't work if the above condition is true, and it will only work if the above condition is not true. Just suppose if I just make it true again, the 8 is less than 10, so just go here and run that up. So now you're gonna see, now the statement 1 is okay, this piece of code is working. But if I just make this statement false and just try this again, so you're gonna see the statement 1 is not okay. So that sounds it's almost okay. Print fmt.println, the statement 1 is not okay is there mentioned. This is the else. This is how the else block works. In the next video, we will talk about the else if, a new conditional piece of code with this, this series, the if and else. So let's just talk about this in the next video. Stay tuned and bye bye for now. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're gonna talk about the if and else, but with a new addition. Actually, it's not a new addition in the if and else family. It's a new addition in our course yet, so we didn't talk about yet. Okay, now if we use the if, okay, I need to be here and a tab, then if here I'm writing something like 5 is equal to 7, which is actually wrong, I know, and I'm making it like that, print ln and the parentheses, and here I'm writing the first statement is okay, which is absolutely not gonna be printed. Here I'm writing else fmt.println, and inside that I'm writing the first statement is not okay. Save it. Now if I just go here and I just run the terminal, so what I'm gonna get is something like the first statement is not okay. We already know that, but what I'm gonna teach in this class is I'm making another one, and here 6 is equal to 9. Okay, fine. Now fmt.println, and now here the second statement is okay, and right after that I'm not writing else here. Okay, I'm giving it another chance. What is the if else? Actually, the else if or the if else is basically we are giving some little decision making power to our program. For example, instead of just being vanished, we are telling it that if you don't find this one, then you can go with this one too. So it's just like decision making power. So here we're giving it another try. Instead of just directly going to the else is the last option. For example, you ask your friend to just get the book, okay, and if the shop is not open, the library or something, the bookshop is not open, then we are just telling him nothing. It is just the simple if. Okay, so he goes to the shop and he gets nothing. Actually the shop is not open, so he does nothing, which is actually not appropriate. So in other words, he will just jump it out and he will do his other jobs, his day work jobs or something, and then once he gets back to you, maybe after an hour or an year or two, he will tell you that sorry, there was nothing, actually the shop is closed, it was closed anyway. In the second condition, we are telling him that if the shop is not open, then call me back or just confirm me or something like that. But here we are giving him another few choices. If the library or the shop is not open, that means this condition is not true. Then look for other shops around you. So now we are going with else if, the parentheses and the curly braces. Now here we can have another parentheses. That means we can put another condition. So I'm adding the condition here, like for example, okay, 6 is not equal to 9, but is the 6 greater than 9? This is another try we're doing. So fmt dot println, and here we're writing the second statement first else if is okay. What's the meaning of the first else if? I'm telling, that means we can add multiple else ifs too, multiple choices you can give to your program. Now I'm going here and I'm just running this out. So I'm only getting the first statement is not okay. I'm not getting any of these statements or the piece of code because it's wrong. Both are wrong. The first statement is okay. This is wrong because the condition, the 6 is not equal to 9 and 6 is not greater than 9. So one thing, you can go with the else. The else must be at the very end. Remember that. The else must be at the very end when you're using the else if statement. Else if inside the if statement anyway. So I'm going with the else by now dot println, in here the second statement is not okay. Save it. Now I'm going here back and I'm just running this up, and now okay, now you can see that this first statement is not okay and the second statement is not okay. But right now if we want to add some more else ifs, so we can add it here, here else if, and then here I'm adding the parentheses like that. Come on, okay, parentheses, and then the curly braces, and now here we can remove this space. Okay, and here I need to add a line break. Okay, that's perfect by now. Anyway, here I need to add some more codes, some more condition actually. Now 6 is less than 9. Okay, here I'm adding a new condition, fmt.println, and here the second statement, second else if is okay. Okay, now just go here and just run this up, and now what we're gonna have, the second statement, second else is okay. So that means it's now working fine. One thing you need to remember, that only one of these piece of codes can run. If the else will be visible, then none of them, the above ones, will be visible at all. Okay, this else if or this else if or this if, only one from all them can be shown here. Okay, And one more thing, you can also add a lot of the if else ifs here according to your needs. So we just needed two else ifs here, means two extra conditions, so we've added two. If you need 4 or 10 else ifs in your piece of code, in your actually the if statement, so you can add another ones too. But you need to know that the else must be at the very last. This is the code style, and the if must be at the very top. One more basic rule you need to know, that programming starts from the top. So first it will check for this one, this if statement. If this goes wrong and this block will be false, then it will go for the next. It won't read randomly, it will read the next one right after the if, and if also goes false, then it will look for other and it will read this one, okay, the third one. And if again goes as false, then it will automatically print the else, or if you have another else if box, it will read for that. But if we get this one as right, okay, the true one, so the code will not even bother reading these things. All of them will be automatically ignored, and we cannot expect this should be read first instead of this one, because programming language start from the top, so the top one will be read first, then the next one, and the next one. So this is a basic rule you need to know. I thought you should know about that. So in the next video we will be talking about some more steps. Stay tuned and goodbye. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we are going to talk about the if and else again, but this time we are going with the nested if and else. So I need to go to the func main again, and I'm just going here and I'm just making a new if by now. And first let me just close that, both of them, and I'm here adding some value like 6 equals to 9. Just for an example, we would update that. Print ln, and here we are adding some value. The first statement is okay. Okay, fine. Now here I'm adding the else of this. fmt.print ln, and here I'm writing the first statement is not okay. Okay, we already know about that, but let me just do something more and advanced I'm doing here, because I'm actually gonna go inside a deep and complicated if and else structure by now. So you need to follow any structure. A few things you need to know, that you just should not add the condition unless you just add the curly braces. So now you just completed the basic structure, so here you're allowed to add the condition and the piece of code. But still, if you want to add the else if and else, so you should add in a space and write the else block like that. Okay, now in this way, if and else I did like that. Now you're allowed to add the data in it. First of all, I'm designing the structure, and here I can add the condition. I'm adding the condition as 7 is less than 9. That means I'm gonna use the if statement, not the else statement. So fmt.print ln, and here what I'm just gonna do, the I'm just calling it first statement, because or the first step is okay. I'm doing it in a little different way. Let me put some value here to fmt.print ln, and here I'm writing something like the first step is not okay. Okay, fine. Now what I'm gonna do next, I need to go here. What if this one is true? It is true by now, if I just test this up here. So The first statement is not okay, the first step is okay, this first step is okay. So if this is okay, so this is actually a piece of code. It is not necessary for you to add the print ln, I mean just to print something on a screen. You can program here too. You can do everything just like in a script here. So I'm adding something more here. I can make variables here, I can do a lot of things inside this piece of code. But here I'm actually creating another if, and with this if you want, you can make another else. So now the confusion becomes active here. This is the place where I told you that we have to add the else and actually the complete structure at the time, so we won't get confused later. And if we do not need the else block, we can delete the else block later. Or if we are actually sure that we do not need this ever, so we do not need to make it. But if maybe we are in doubt that maybe we need to make the else block, so we should actually create the complete statement, the complete structure of the if statement right here. Then later, if you do not need, you can delete that. Now here I'm using another statement, another condition. One thing you need to know, that it is not something like the else if, it is nested if. So we are actually making another if inside an if, okay, a kind of nested program. So here I'm typing 8 is equals to 0, 8 is less than 0, no, 8 is less than 10. Okay, first I'm writing the it's else, then I'll write the other program like that. I'm writing the else here, fmt dot print ln, and the print ln is just for your help and guidance when you're making your own and when you're actually working practically. So you do not need to write the print ln. You can just simply make another steps. Okay, the second step is okay, save it. Now is not okay because we are actually writing the else, not okay. And here fmt.println, here we need to write the second step is okay. Okay, fine. Now we can make another step here. Okay, so this is just an example. In the next video I'm actually gonna make a complete program with some actual values, so you will more understand why we need the nested if and else's anyway. So by now, just for your example, just for some practical, giving you practical examples, I did it. You just can see now, you can see that the first statement is not okay, the first step is okay, the second step is okay. This is why. Now we can proceed. For example, if the second step is not okay, so just to let you know, here the first step is okay, the second step is not okay. Okay, the first step, it reads the first step is okay, and because this piece of code, okay, the if has two pieces of code, the if and the else. If the first step is okay, I mean this condition is true, then it's actually reading this piece of code, and this piece of code has an if too. So ultimately it's going inside this if condition, and if this condition is false, then it's reading the else of the condition, or it's gonna print the if condition piece of code. Now for example, even this is wrong, 17 and 9. So what is gonna happen in the world here? The first statement is not okay, the first step is not okay, it's not going to the second step, because at the very beginning there was two steps, the if and the else. Because this condition is not true, so ultimately the whole block of code, the whole piece of code is ignored, and this else is visible. So we are even not gonna bother checking that if inside this, the previous if, there is another if which has a condition which might be true or false. We are not even checking, because this whole block of code is now being ignored, and this else is printable and it is there. The first step is not okay, so we just cannot go to the second step because we just jumped out to the else of the first block. So this is how if and else, nested if and else works. So in the next video we're going to talk about the if and else in a more practical way. So till then, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the nested else if and else in a unique way, in actually a practical way. So first of all, I'm making some variables, like I'm making a variable here, shop, first holiday, okay, equal to yes, or no, or let's just make things in a yes format. So working day, yes. I'm going down another variable, shop, open, yes. Var laptop available, yes. High RAM, yes. Okay, by now we just designed these things. So I'm just going down and I'm just opening it, and here I'm adding the else as we decided previously. So then all I need to do is to fill the data. First of all, I'm telling that if the working day is equal to yes, then this should be proceed. Otherwise, I'm filling the else first. fmt.println this, oh, it's holiday, save. But if it's not the holiday, it's a working day, then I'm not actually making the print ln by now. I'm directly creating the if and else. Now here, if the working day, if today is a working day, then is the shop open is equal to yes. So this piece of code would work. Otherwise, this would work. fmt.println. Now here, I'm telling you how a computer program works using the if and else. I'm telling you the very simple way by now. It's not tricky, but you need to know things. Anyway, here I'm telling that the shop was not open. Or we can do something like it's closed. The actual thing, the shop is closed. Now, if the shop is open, then I'm making another if else here. If else, okay. Now, here the condition I'm adding as the shop is open and the laptop available is also true. Yes. Then this block of code should run, otherwise this one. So I'm adding the otherwise first because I have to clear the else block, then we may continue from the if block. Anyway, here I'm adding the laptop was not available to sell for sell. Anyway, save it. Now I'm going there and I'm adding if again, and here else, and again I'm gonna put the some condition. Now if the laptop is available, is it the high RAM is equal to yes. One thing you need to remember that you just cannot use the assigning operator. You have to use the equal to operator, means the double equal signs. Otherwise it will be the assigning operator and it will actually assign the new value, the wrong value, and will make the condition true. So if the RAM is yes, then this one, otherwise this else block. But if the RAM is no, then because the laptop is available, so maybe we can survive with the low RAM too. So here else if, I'm adding an else if inside it. Okay, and there is the else too. So there are two blocks. Now I'm making another variable here, var low RAM equal to yes. By now I'm just adding yes for everything, then we would change things accordingly. I just think instead of the low RAM I should write here middle RAM, because on the low RAM we are gonna put it on the else block. So anyway, if the high RAM is yes, so here, because we have everything we needed, so I'm just simply gonna do this here. We got, or because the laptop is available and the high RAM is available, so we bought the high RAM. Let's make it like that, high RAM laptop. And here else if, in an else if, we're not gonna take it anymore. Middle RAM, if the middle RAM is yes, yes, then what we're gonna do is fmt dot, again we're printing things because we do not want to make it any longer. So we bought middle RAM laptop. Okay, it is awesome. About, okay, fine. Oh, it should not be like that. It should be like this way. And here we're writing fmt.println. The shop was open, but we got no high RAM laptop, even a middle RAM laptop. So we didn't buy the low RAM laptop. Now I'm just gonna go there and I'm just gonna run this up, and now you're gonna see something interesting. By now we bought the high RAM laptop. That means everything is actually fine. Okay, now I'm going here, and if I just make this, no, today is not the working day, so what the result we're gonna get, it's holiday. Okay, it's holiday because because it's not the working day, so it's the holiday, so ultimately we're not gonna buy anything. But if it is the working day, just make it true, but the shop is not open, so just make it no or any other value instead of yes. So we're gonna get something, shop is closed. Oh, another problem. But even if the shop is open but the laptop availability is no, then again we're going here and we're going to get something. The laptop was not available for sale. Oopsie. Now if this is even true, yes, but the high RAM is not available, no. Okay, now here, okay, now we bought a middle RAM laptop, but even if the middle RAM is not available, then what we're gonna get is the shop was open, but we got no high RAM laptop, even a middle RAM laptop, so we didn't buy the low RAM laptop. We left it. So this is the basic logic. And now if we talk about the structure of it, now if this is true, this condition is true, the working day equal to yes is true, then this from there to line number 28, this piece of code will work. Otherwise, this else will work and everything will be dead. In this piece of code, there is another if which has its own else. In case this is not true, then this else will be visible, not the main else, because we just jumped the main else, ignored the main else, and we went inside the if. So I think this is pretty simple, but I also know that if you're actually working first time in if and else, so you should practice this multiple times, and this practice is going to make you perfect in this thing. So be practice for this thing and you're gonna learn it, you're gonna achieve it. Maybe 3 or 4 practices would be enough. You need to make it from the start. And also do not try to make your own things, like instead of the laptop, you do not try to put the car or something else here, or any other decision making things, because for the first time you should practice this. Then once you understood everything, then absolutely you can do your own things. So anyway, in the next video, we're going to talk something different. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about the switch statement in the Go language. It is pretty simple. All you need to know how we actually can utilize the switch statement. So let's just do this. There are many interesting ways to work on the switch statement, and you can get a lot of benefits while working on the switch statement, but we are going to go with the simple one by start. First of all, you need to make a variable. So the variable you can make is something you want to look for in the switch statement. For example, I'm making it here the book, okay, the var book, and equal to, I'm putting the value in a book is something, you know, history. Okay, I'm talking about the history book, and here I'm going down. I've created a variable. Now I'm making a switch here, switch, okay, and adding in space, and then here I'm calling the book, the variable book, and then right after that I'm opening the curly braces of the switch. Now here I need to open different cases. The switch and the case are the combination. Now first of all, the case, I'm putting some value here, and I'm putting, like, you know, the history, and here I'm actually running something like, okay, I'm typing here fmt.println, and inside that you know, the book name is history. Okay, now right after that I'm gonna make a new case, and here I'm writing people, and right after that I'm adding the fmt.print if the case is people, okay, .println, and I'm going inside, and the book name is people, okay, and let's just make it accordingly so it'll look more beautiful. Case, now I'm adding another case here, technology, and right here I'm adding another fmt.println, and in this I'm writing the book name is technology, and I'm saving it. Okay, now let me just go here and you know, I'm gonna get some results. Now I need to run this document, and I'm gonna see that, okay, the book name is history. That means here I have created a variable book and put it a value in this variable. Then I just open the switch statement, and right after that I called a variable name, which is book, and there is only one variable, by the way. So actually, what is a variable? A variable is nothing but its value, and even the type of the variable ultimately follows the type of the value. So here we are taking some cases. In a first case, the value of the book can be history. If this is the case, then this, the statement should be printed. If the case is people, the value of the book is people, then this should be printed. And if the value of the book is technology, then this should be printed. This is how it's gonna work, and this is working. But even if I write history with the small h, okay, the h was capital initially, so if I just run this up, I'm not gonna get anything. Okay, so it should be similar, and it is case sensitive, so you need to know that the h must be capital if it was capital above. And right after that, just go here, and I'm gonna do something more. I'm gonna write the default, and in the default, what I'm gonna do is print ln and delete that, and here we don't know the book name, simple. Okay, now what's the default meaning? If no case is getting matched with the book, with the actual value of the book, then the default would run. I'm going there back and I'm running it, and the book name is history. But in case I make it a small letter, or even if I change the whole value, in this case no case is actually getting matched. So if I just run this up, so I'm going to get we don't know the book name. That means the default is actually visible here. So this is a very basic way to work on a switch statement. There are some more advanced way, and absolutely we're going to talk about them too. So let's just go down, and one more thing I just want to tell you, that if you're not willing to add the variable, you directly can add the value like that, history. You've written something like you just wrote history there. Absolutely, we're not using the variable, so it's having problems by now. Anyway, yeah, now we are not actually calling for the variable or the value of the variable. We are directly putting some value, and now the case should be matched with the value. Now I'm going here and I'm just testing this up, and we didn't know the book name because okay it's right, because I didn't add the actual value. So let me just do it, history, and now spelling is actually conciled. Now go back, and now the book name is history. That means it's actually working. For example, if I just change it to people, save it, now you're gonna see that now the book name is people, because now it is actually matching with the case number 2, which has the book name is people. So it's actually working, you can see that. Now in this case, we're gonna make the switch statement again, and I'm not gonna put anything here as a condition. I'm just going down. I'm directly opening the case here, and in the case I'm putting some value like 4 equals to 4, and I'm adding not like that, I need to go here, and in this way I'm just going down here, and I'm writing again the fmp.print ln, and in this I'm just adding something like the first case is true. Save it. Now I need to go here and I need to check if it is actually fine. The first case is absolutely true, because you can see that. But there is something more. If I just go down and if I just make another case, actually we need to put some true value here. When we put some value here, So this condition needs to be true, and because we've added some value at the above, so if both got matched, so ultimately the condition is true, so we got the value. And here it's not the case. We are not adding anything at the top, so we are just only judging the condition inside every case. So here I'm adding some more value, and here what I'm just adding, I'm adding 5 is equals to 9. Okay, and I'm just going down and I'm adding fmt print ln, and I'm going inside. The second case is true. Okay, I'm going down and I'm opening another case right here, case, and here I'm typing 3 equals to 6, which is absolutely not true. I'm going down fmt.print ln, and I'm going inside. The third case telling must be true is true, and I'm going down again the case, and here the 7 equal to 5, and here fmt.print ln. Okay, the fourth case is true. Okay, now need to go down and default, and here line break fmt.print ln, and here the default case is true. Okay, so which one is actually true by now? So we're gonna run this up, and now the first case is true. Now if I just make the first case as wrong and the second case as true, so absolutely I'm gonna get the second case as true. You can see that. If I just make every case as false, which I'm gonna do by now, save it, and now go here and run this up again. Now the default case is true. Okay, because that at the end the default runs. But what if we make it true and all of them actually true, all of them are more than one as true, like I'm doing here? Then what's gonna happen? The first one is true and the second one is true too. So let's just test this out. We're gonna get only very first true case there. Okay, now there is one more way to make other one as true. You need to add fall through. Okay, now because of the fall through, it's gonna see the next case too. Now go here and run this up, and now you're gonna see that the first case is true and the second case is true too. Now if you add a fall through here too, fall through, so this would check this one too, but the answer would not be right, so it won't make any effect, but at least it is true. The second case is true and the third case is true too. Okay, so if you want to make the default as visible, just go here and run this up, and you can see that the third case is true, and we're not actually getting the default as true by now because it is the default case. So anyway, in the next video we're going to talk about some more about the switch statement, so stay tuned and goodbye. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the switch statement again, and we are going to learn something more with some advanced tricks. I've got something over the internet, a kind of small program made on the switch, so I'm just gonna teach you that program. So just look what I'm doing. It is quite interesting. Anyway, so first of all, what you need is the the main function, and absolutely you need to have the package main, the import fmt, and the function main. Then right before the switch I need some variables. For example, first variable I'm making as grade, and I'm adding some value like what grade I'm adding here. I'm adding C here. I'm going down and I'm making another variable which is marks, Okay, the marks, it is quite interesting. It is a kind of formula. So I'm adding marks as 60. Okay, the C grade and the 60 marks. I'm going down now, making the switch statement. There I'm making both kind of switches we just discussed in a previous video, so you might know what I'm doing. First of all, I'm calling the marks. Okay, and here in the marks I'm opening the curly braces and I'm going inside, like that, and I'm opening the cases. The first case I'm opening here, and I'm adding the value of the case is, I'm adding something, if it is 60. Okay, if it is 60, so in that case I'm going down and I'm writing grade. Now what I'm doing, I'm changing the value of the grade on the basis of marks. Okay, if I'm telling that if the marks case is 60, then the grade should be C. This is what we've already written here anyway, but we're writing this again. So let's just go down and write another case, and here I'm writing if it is 70. So in this case I'm writing the grade again and equal to, and here I'm writing B, and I'm going down and I'm writing C case if it is 80, and if it is 80 then the grade should be A. Okay, so good. Now what we're doing here, we are simply changing the grade values according to the marks. There are some by default values which are not very important anyway, because here we are assigning, you can see that we are assigning the values, we are not comparing or something. Okay, now we are not printing any of the value, but right after the switch statement, okay, you can see that right after the switch statement, what I'm doing here, or let me just add the in the switch statement, let me just add the default value too, and in the default value I'm adding grade value as F means fill. Anyway, okay, right after the switch statement I'm just writing fmt.println, and inside that what I'm doing is something like printing the grade. Okay, I'm printing the grade variable. So what the grade variable has, it can be anything. I'm going here and I'm just printing it up, and you can see that it is C. If I write here A, then what it's gonna print here, it is printing again C, because I'm telling him, I'm not changing the value of the marks anyway. I'm telling if the marks are 60, there is a variable and there is a case where we're picking the value of the variable which is 60. So if the marks are 60, then the grade should be C. If the marks are 70, then the grade value should be B, and if the marks are 80, then the grade value should be you can see that it is C, because the marks value is 60, so it is fine. By the way, anyway, if we put something like 600, so ultimately the grade will be F. Just check this, because it is not matching with any of the values, so it is ultimately at the F. Anyway, if I make it 70 and save it, and if I just go down, and you can see that it is B now, because the 70 is the B now. So I think it is nice, by the way. So what more I'm gonna do, I'm simply gonna go down, and actually I'm gonna make another switch, TCH switch, and I'm going inside. Now here I'm not calling the value anyway, I'm directly going down and I'm writing another case, and in here what we are doing, we are actually because we didn't mention any kind of switch, any kind of condition at the switch here. So if I mention any variable or a condition here right after the switch, then in the cases we're just gonna match the values. But in this case here in line number 20, we didn't mention any kind of condition here, so we are making conditions at every case. So if the grade, now we decided a grade which is B. Here, according to this switch statement, the grade is B, which is fine. Here I'm just checking that if the grade is B, okay, or if the grade is A, then here like that. And here I'm printing something, print ln awesome results, because ultimately if it is A grade, then it is awesome result. By the way, now here I'm calling the grade, and here I'm writing B, and right here I'm writing fmt print ln, and here I'm writing not bad grade. Okay, then just go down and write another case and grade again dot print ln, and here I'm writing, I did a little mistake, let me just clarify things. The C, if the C grade, then indeed at print ln you just passed. And by default there is no by default case anyway, but let me add that fmt dot print ln don't show your face again. Anyway, just check this out. Oh, I'm getting some kind of, at line number 21 I did something wrong and I need to check that. Expected new line, I did this there actually, line number 26. Anyway, this one, it was expecting this. Okay, now it should be fine. I'm going back and I'm just testing this up, and not bad, and the result is B. You can see that here. This is also printed, the grade is B, and if the grade is B, then it means the result is not bad, because we just mentioned if the grade is B, then it should be like not bad. If I just change the marks here, okay, if I just change the marks up to 80, and if I just go there back and I run this, because of the marks are 80, so the grade is A, an awesome result. If I just make it 60, save it, and now I'm going here and I'm just running this up, and now you can see that it is C, okay. And if I just make it 50 and I just go here, and you're gonna see that don't show your face again, and the result is F, the field. So this is how the switch statement works, and this is why the switch statements are important for your program. So you need to practice it multiple times. So in the next video we're going to talk about some other steps of the Go language. Till then, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to talk about the looping in the Go language. Looping is a part of almost every programming language, but what it is and how it works, this is a question. So we're going to discuss that by now. I'm going here, and first of all, why we do looping and what it is. Absolutely, a kind of duplication is looping. I'm making some statements here. For example, I just written hello world. Now I'm applying it here, and you can see the result here, and there is the result hello world. But for example, you want this result multiple times or a certain amount of time. You're writing it again, print ln, do the same I'm doing, hello world. Okay, that's awesome. I'm writing it again, fmt hello world, fmt dot print ln, and hello world. Okay, that's awesome, but not like that, because it's actually covering a lot of space, and these texts are covering a lot of space. It's literally the duplication in the coding, and we recommend the dry coding, the don't repeat yourself coding. So there we are repeating the same thing to writing the same thing multiple times, but there is a unique way to do this action. So I'm deleting all of this, and I'm just simply making the for loop. Okay, there are a few things. This is the curly braces, the code area where you can code anything which you want multiple times, the looping. And so here In this block of code, we would be able to write anything you want to duplicate. So right here after the for, the reserved keyword for the for loop is for, I'm writing the next thing. I'm writing here first of all, I'm making a variable equal to, and I'm writing here 1. I'm assigning this 1 as value of I. Here we are actually making a variable. And then I'm adding a semicolon. We generally do not add the semicolon in the Go programming languages. Despite many other programming languages we use this, but here we don't use. But for the for loop, we use it because we are adding another command right after the I equal to 1. I'm adding some new value right here. And what I'm adding here is I is less than 10. Okay, this is the condition. Okay, for loop has mainly 3 things to make this loop run: the assignment of a variable, okay, the value of the variable, and the condition, which is I'm telling that if I is less than 10, and then I increment sign. We talked about this, the increment sign, that I should be incremented. That means here I'm telling that if I'm first of all I'm assigning one value to I, means the I value is 1 by now. Then I'm telling here that I is less than 10, then there I'm telling that I should be incremented. Okay, now here I'm adding the fmt, the format.println, and in this I'm writing the hello world again. Okay, and saving it. And what more I'm doing is actually going there and again just running the command. Okay, it's getting loaded, and there, hello world, there are a lot of hello worlds. Anyway, here I'm gonna define it again. The fmt.println hello world is something. Saving this. Now what is happening here? Actually, the I has a value 1. The I should be less than 10, and the I is getting incremented. So when we are running a for loop, it's actually repeating. It's actually checks for the condition. If the condition is true, I is absolutely smaller than 10, so it prints it, and again it goes back and looks for the condition. But once it actually go throw down, the I gets bigger by 1 because we are adding incrementation. For example, I is equal to 1, I should be less than 1, which is absolutely less than 10, sorry, which is absolutely, it is less than 10. Then the incrementation, now I became, and then we are printing this. Now we are assigning this again, but absolutely it's not getting read it again. The for loop now is checking for the condition. The I is 2 now, and it's less than 10. Now it's incrementing. I is now 3, then printing, then checking the condition again. I is 3, but it's still less than 10. Now it checks for the the value, and it goes down and it just processes, and then the loop actually works. We can do one more thing here. Instead of the hello world, we can directly write the I. So there are many things you would understand. I'm just running it. You would see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Oh, there is a thing we need to talk. Why it's not 10? Okay, I should be less than 10. Okay, so it moves and go again and again, running and going back and running and going back, and I became 9. Okay, because of this incrementation, every time it prints, it goes back. But anyways, it's not necessary that we just print it. We can do anything in this block of code, but whatever you do would be repeated. Even you can make any if else statement inside the for loop. You can do that too, but everything you do would be repeated. That is simple. Anyways, now I became the 10. Now I should be less than 10, but I is equal to 10. That is why a statement became false. So after the 9, it's not becoming 10. it's stopping at 9. I think it is very simple, so you might be cleared. Now I'm going here, I'm adding the equal sign. What is the meaning of the equal sign? We discussed about the operators already. The I is equal to 10, I should be less than 10 or equal to 10. This is what this operator does. I'm going here and running that back, and now you're gonna see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, till the 9 it's checking I is less than 10, but we're asking for two conditions here. If I is smaller or less than 10 or equal to 10. So once I became equal to 10, it got printed here. But the problem comes here when I became greater than 10. I became 11. So now it cannot be printed because this condition is now false and we just cannot manage that. However, we can write here 20 or any values, then this condition would be looped again and again and again. So I'm just printing it again, so you can see that it's 20. It's starting from, if I just scroll it up a little, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and you can see that the last value is 20. Okay, that's awesome. So this is how the basic for loop works. There is a little thing when we talk about the looping. In many languages we go through very different styles of the looping. When we talk about the Ruby, the PHP, the JavaScript, there is a while loop in PHP which is very famous. PHP has a do while loop too. Anyway, the Go language has only the for loop, but there are ways for the for loop. So what are those ways? We know this method, but there is another method. If I just go down and if I just write it again, so the another method is pretty simple. The format dot println and the like that, and I'm deleting that println. I'm going inside and I'm doing something like hello world. Okay, saving it. So here, first of all, I'm creating the variable. I'm writing here C, and the value I'm putting for the C is 1 again, and I'm going down, and here I'm only mentioning the condition. And what condition I'm mentioning here? If I C is less than 10. Okay, I'm saving it. Now here within the for loop, but after the value I'm adding the C++ and saving it. Now I'm going here back and running this up, and now you can see that the hello world printed here. This is another method. So there are ways to do that. I'm just showing you different methods. Anyway, in the next lecture we're going to talk about something different. Till then, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So in this lecture we're going to talk about the functions. Okay, we are already talking about a function which is the main function, and whatever we do inside this main function, and all we need is to just put the things inside it and it shows us the data in the terminal. For example, if we write the println here and write something like hello world, it would be shown here once we call it. Okay, that's the simple thing and we already know, but there are the way we can make the custom functions too. The main function is coming from the package main, but to make a new function all we need is to go here and we need to call func func, and then we need to put some name for this function. For example, here we can give it a name as func1. Okay, and then the parentheses and then curly braces. Now I'm going inside and I'm writing again here the println, and here I'm writing something hello world from func1, and I'm saving it. Now let's see what we're gonna get in the browser. I refresh the page, I added the command here. Okay, I'm only getting the hello world, I'm not getting this one. Why? Now that's the trick, and that's why we are learning this lecture. This is the hello world from func1 would not be shown unless we call it. The func1 would have to be called somewhere in the func main. Okay, the func1 doesn't need to be called. Now you need to very concentrate in these things what I'm telling. The func1 doesn't need to be called because it's by default played in the result, whatever inside it. The new function we've made has to be called in the main function. So where we call the function, we made this function, and whenever we call the function in the function main, it would be printed or displayed, or you can say processed, because a function is itself a kind of a script. The function is not something only the print fmt print ln. You know, we did everything in the main function. You know, this main function, we did everything like for loop, the a lot of things like that, the switches, loops, etc. I mean, making the variables, etc. So we did everything, and we can do everything in a function like the func1. But this function needs to be called. So for example, we can put a complete script inside, a complete program inside, and it would be only shown once we call it. So I'm going here, and after the first print ln, I'm going to call this. This is the simple thing I'm going to do here. Func1 and this is the way to call a function. Okay, now I'm saving it, and I'm just running this up here again, and you're gonna get the result. Okay, now you can see that the result, and then you can see that the hello world and then the hello world from func1. This is the very simple example of a custom function you can make. Okay, there are many other things we're absolutely gonna discuss, but a few things, a few tweaks, let's discuss. If I cut this, I mean, I'm going inside the main function where I just have called this func1. I'm placing this before the fmt print ln. That means right here, first the func1, then the fmt print ln hello world, and now I'm printing it again, and you would see a little change. Now you can see that previously the hello world was called first, then the hello world from func1, and now hello world from func1, then the hello world. So there is a little difference you can notice. Okay, that's great. And what more I'm gonna do, I'm saving it, and I'm going here, I'm writing func, and I'm making func2. Okay, just to make you sure if there is something you are confused of. Hello world from func2. Okay, but instead of okay, fine, I'm here writing something like var. I'm writing here var1 equal to 53, var2 equals to 78, and here fmt dot print ln, and inside that var1 plus var2. Saving it. Now I'm going here and running that again. Oh, it's not gonna work because we absolutely didn't call this function anywhere, the func2. So we have to call this. I'm going here, and right after the hello world, I'm calling the func2 and saving it. Now going there back and making it done. Okay, now you can see that the hello world from func2, because it was written, and then first hello world from func1 because this one displayed, then the println hello world, then hello world from function2. This function is running, and this function has the println hello world from func2 at first. So this is shown first, then fmt format dot println var1 plus var2, which is 132. So 132 is printed here. So these are the basics of the function. You need to practice because functions are very important for the Go language for you to learn more. So we're going to talk about them later. Till then, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we're going to talk about the functions a little more. Previously, we just discussed how we can actually use the functions, and absolutely we just understood that there are three kind of functions we've used, three functions actually, and two kind of functions and three functions. This is the main function. We do not need to call the main function because it is the main function after all. and the func1 and the func2 has to be called, and absolutely the browser or the terminal, everything looks for the main function. So here this is a main function and it needs to be called. So when you're calling the func1 and func2, you have to call them inside the main function, as I already called them inside the main function, so that's fine. Now this is the time to make a new function. I'm going down and I'm making a new function, or let's delete both of them because I am gonna do something new. Okay, there I'm making a new function by making func and a few updates we're gonna do. So func, now again I'm writing func, but right now I'm writing func3 because maybe you have the previous functions in your system saved or the file in saved. Anyway, here I'm writing something like format.println, and here I'm writing hello world. Okay, this is what we, oh sorry, hello worlds, I just went into multiple dimensions. Okay, now I'm simply calling this function the func3 and saving it. I do not need to do anything. I just call this function here. I'm going here and go run index.go, and here hello world. If I call it twice like func3 or thrice func3, so saving, now going here, now you can see that it works all the time, all the 3 times it's working here. So the func3, 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 so we got it 3 times because we just searched it for the 3 times. Anyway, here, so what else we are gonna do? I'm deleting that, and right after that I'm adding a plus sign. That means I'm gonna concatenate it. Okay, and here I'm writing user or the person, anything you want to write here. Okay, the person. Now where is this variable? You can have this variable here like var person. I'm mentioning the type to string, and then the value, and I'm writing the value as John. Person, saving, now going here and line break, and there we're gonna get the hello John. Okay, you know, there this variable is here and the variable value is John, and we mentioned the type of the variable too. So it is not necessary if you do not mention that. Ultimately the type of the variable will be dynamic, but we're going with the static type here. So then we're just printing it hello, and the person is actually printing as John. And upper in the above functions where we're calling these functions, the func3 and func3 and func3, all of them are having the function hello person. So hello John and hello John and hello John, you can see that. So it is fine. But what if I want some dynamic functions? I'm deleting that or just making it silent like that. And what more I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go here and I'm writing person and mentioning the type to, which is not very necessary, but mentioning here the type to person string. Okay, now if I remove the string type, then okay, now here in the func3, actually what I just written here, I just wrote here the person is coming in the parameters. These are the parameters. The parentheses can have the parameters too. So I just wrote person. Okay, now I'm receiving the value person here and I'm printing that here. So from where it's coming from here. Okay, and I'm writing here John, and on a func3 second time calling I'm writing Mar, and third time I'm writing is Spencer. Now save it. Now what is happening all around, I'm adding in a space and a string and saving it. Okay, now I'm going here and I'm just printing it again. Now you're gonna see hello John, hello Mark, and then hello Spencer. What's the meaning of that and how it's actually working? What is happening here when you call the first time func3? Okay, you know, system doesn't read these functions. Okay, system is only reading the main function. We need to be very clear about this. However, you just call it above the main function. However, the programming language starts reading from the top, but still it start reading from the top, but this is the function which was never be called yet. So then it just reads the main function, and in the main function now the system is reading func3. Okay, then it just gets, there is some value inside the func3 and the value is John. Okay, now the system starts looking for the func3, and whoa, it found the func3 here. Here at line number 5 the func3 has been found. Okay, so here there must be a variable, and this is a variable which is actually called the parameter, and this is called the argument. We have the argument to this parameter is John, so we call the func3 which has the argument as John, and here the func3 there is a parameter which is receiving that argument, and the type you mentioned should be string. And here once we call it the function, it reads the func3, it has to now read the func3. So there is a func3, it reads everything, picks this value, place the value here. The person should be the John, and now it checks for the formula. There we are writing print ln hello plus person. So now it's actually printing this. Okay, the func3 is printing this, but here with the print ln, the person is something we are sending when we're calling the function. It is very simple. This is what makes it the dynamic function. Now the second time you call the function, you added a different value. The third time you call it, you add the different value. All of these values can be called from the user side. I mean, user can put these values by its own, and then these value can be received from the user and can be added here. So this is not necessary we add the John, Mark and Spencer in the programming anyway by our own hands, but just to make sure that how the dynamic function works, I'm just showing it. So anyway, if you're receiving some value which is not the string, so you have to mention that it's not the string, then you can add that here. So now I think we just understood the how we can receive the parameters in the function. So in the next lecture we're going to talk how we can get multiple parameters. Till then, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about the function again, but this time we're going to use multiple parameters. I'm going here and I'm writing a new function. Sorry, not like that. Okay, func4. Now I want to tell you a few things. While writing a function, you can do two things. Two methods are available. For example, you can write it like new func4. Okay, this is acceptable, but there is one another way. This is the new func. This is a camel style. If you see in the camel style, when you write something, you make the first letter small and the second word's first letter capital. Then if there is a third word, for example, new function learn. Okay, so the third word's first letter again as capital, as I written here, L as capital. So new func learn 4. This is a camel style. So also if you have multiple words, you can go with this style too. This is another style, just showing you a few ones. And if you don't need, so you can write in this way and also in this way, but this is not a recommended way. In programming, we try to make the words, the variable words, the variable all characters as small, because things can be case sensitive, as you know. So if you write F as capital and F as small somewhere, so there would be a difference. So you need to know whenever you're looking for a variable, you must know that what's the style you use to make the variable. For example, I tell you that, hey man, use the new func3 in your program. I just made it, so I show you the script. So instead you need to look for the new function, new func3. You may know my style of writing, so you would think that I write in a camel style, so I must written it new and F capital and 3 as normal, you know. Or you may know that I write with the underscore. Same thing works with your self own. If you made a function a month ago. Now your script is too lengthy and you need to call that function. So instead of looking that again, you already know your style, like you add the underscore or you make it camel style or anyway. So you would directly write the function in that way. So anyway, the func4, and here taking two parameters, for example, person1 comma person2. Now I'm going here and fmt dot println and hello plus here plus person1 and plus person2. Save it. Okay, now I need to mention the types of them. So for this one, it is necessary to mention the type in the functions because it makes sure that for what purpose we are going to use these variables. So here I'm adding in a space and I'm writing a string here because it's a type of a string, and the next one again it's the string. I'm saving it. Now I'm going here and okay, I didn't call that yet. I'm going here and I'm writing func4 like that, and I'm here first writing Emily and here add a comma Walton. Saving. Now going here and just reloading the script. Now hello Emily and Walton. Okay, this is how you took two kind of values. Let's make it more interesting. I'm going here writing func5 and here calling a comma b. Now both are gonna be the integers. For example, if I'm writing both as the same, so make it shorthand, just write integer once. You can do the same thing here too, just delete that. For example, this should be the string and that should be the integer, so I have to write them differently, but in this case, because both are the strings, we are sure about it, so we just simply can go here, add all the variables and add the data type like that I did here, and add a tab, and here I'm writing fmt.println parentheses, and here I'm writing again. Okay, now the method I'm going to change here because they are the integers, so we can do some programming with them too. The mathematical values, I'm writing a plus b. Okay, now I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna guide you what I'm doing anyway. Func5, and here I'm writing because these are the integers, so I just cannot use the double or single quotes. I'm writing 5 comma 8 and saving. Okay, now what I did here, I simply in the main function, out of the main function, I called a and b. Both of them are integers. First let's see the result, then we'll talk about that later. Okay, it's 13. Okay, fine. Now here I have called the func5 and I put two things, the 5 and 8. Okay, here when I just call the func5, so there are two values, system picked both of the values and system going down. There is a func5a and here is a comma b, and integer, and fmt. Now here integer, there is a fmt dot println a plus b. Okay, and I'm saving it, and what more I'm doing is now here receiving the a and b as integer. So a is 5 and 8 is b. Ultimately you need to know the first value, ultimately the first parameter. The first value is 5 and the first parameter is ultimately the first value, the comma, and after the comma, absolutely after the comma value. So we just picked a plus b. We just picked a, b, and what we did with these values, as we just simple variables. So a, we added the plus sign, and the b, it's not concatenating, it's actually doing sum. Now there we got the result, the 13. In the same manner we can send another one like 8 5 5 8 9. I'm adding a comma here, 9. Oh sorry, a, b and c. Now here add another plus sign, just showing you how it works. You can add as much as parameters you need, like a plus b plus c. So I'm going here and I'm testing this up, and now you're gonna see something interesting. The 22. You can make it, instead of the plus sign, you can do like that, saving it. Now I'm multiplying the value. Now 77. Okay, that's fine. Now, for example, this is the 9. I don't want this 9 to be the number. I want it to be the something like the string. I'm writing here Melissa. I hope I've written the right spelling. Anyway, whatever. Melissa. I don't know. Anyway, here now, because we have a different type, so I'm writing here, the type is not matching by now. You can see that they cannot use the Melissa type string as type integer in argument to func5. So here I'm making now this as integer, this as integer, and this has to be string, because the third one is C and the third one is Melissa. But now here, this cannot be performed like that. I'm deleting that, and what I'm doing now, cut that off, and here, and I'm writing here D equals to the var D. I'm here asking for, now what's the problem you guys are having? D declared and not used. Okay, not used plus. Now here I'm writing C. Save it. What's the problem, buddy? Okay, that's another problem. It is D and it is C. So I think this is the issue we need to discuss, because it's a detailed issue. So by now I'm just receiving both the values differently by now. So I'm calling C here, and if I just go here, and you would see like 13th and Melissa. So we got 3 values, but how we can put them together, because it's not as simple as it looks to concatenate multiple types of data together. So it was not concatenating, as you remember. We've got an issue. So in the next lecture, we're going to talk about this in detail. So we'll meet again. Hello and welcome back. So in this video, we're going to cover multiple things. We're going to talk about the returns, and returning some value of the function. We're going to talk about that too, because for now, we are not sending anything. We are printing. We are receiving the data here, and we are just printing that. Nothing more than that we're doing. So I'm going to talk about how we can actually return something from the function, and here how we can use the integer to the string. So first, let me clear the way to use the integer in the string. There are 2 ways basically. So we're going to talk about the first way. We are writing fmt.sprintf, and here we're going to write sprintf is the way to write the strings and the integers together, but there is a unique way we need to follow. For example, hello friends, the value of D is, now this is the way. However, let me change it to Y. Now the value of Y is D, add a comma and Y, and saving it. Now going to the here the terminal and running that up, and here we're gonna get something. Okay, you can see that. Oh, undefined D. Okay, I got it. This should be the Y2. Saving, going there back and running that up, and here it's loading. Okay, it's printing. It's not printing. Okay, I got it. Have to save it in a variable. So let me save that. I'm saving it in a var str equals to, and there I'm going down and I'm writing fmt dot println, and I'm going inside and writing str, and now I'm going here in a browser. Oh, sorry, not the browser but the terminal, and running that up, and okay, there, I've got it. Now hello friends, the value of dy, oh okay, this should be y only, and I'll run it again. Now the value of y, oh, I didn't save that. Now just run this up again. Now hello friends, the value of y is 13. So this is a way you can write the string integer into the string. There is one more way, and I think we should talk about that, and that way is, first of all, we need to import a package. I'm going here right after the fmt package. I'm importing another one. Also, I'm changing the way of importing it like that, and here I'm writing strconv. a line break, and a line break, and a line break. Okay, now, and then once we imported that, absolutely, we're not using that. We've imported it but not used yet. So here, where is the function? This one. I'm doing a lot of things in the functions, in different functions out of the main function, and the reason is very simple. I want you to practice putting a lot of stuff in a single function, so it would be absolutely easy for you. Here, strconv dot itoa, let's do it in the way it is. Now here I'm writing this strconv is actually what we've imported, and this itoa is coming from the strconv, like the print ln is coming from the fmt. So anyway, here I'm writing the variable which is y. This variable, it's not the converted one. This one is converted, but it's not. Anyway, now I need to save it. I'm saving it into a str2 equals to, no space required. Now here fmt dot print ln, and here I'm writing str2 and saving it. Now I'm going here and running this up, and I've got some problem. Undefined str2. Now you can see that we've defined the var, and there we've got the result. I am testing this again, so you would see we've got the result. Okay, now here I'm adding a plus sign and writing the value, saving it up and going here and refreshing that again. So you can see that 13 the value. Okay, now this is another way we can do that. So I'm just deleting that up from here and going here. The value we got is adding in a space, and now it's the general way by now. Okay, and plus here again we need more. Saving, now going here back and refreshing the page, and now you can see that the value we've got is 13. Okay, we need to add in a space here to get the space. Saving it again and going there back and refreshing that, and here you can see that the value we got is 13 space, but we need more. Okay, that's fine. So so this video took a little time, so I think for the return values we're gonna take the next lecture. So in this lecture we just discussed about how we can actually convert the integer to the string. So in the next video we're gonna actually talk about how we can get the return of the functions. So till then, stay tuned.
Okay, so that's the end of the course. Now, if you enjoyed it, you can access the full course in the link in the description. It's only $9.99. I think it's really worth the money. And remember, please subscribe to the channel. We'll have lots of free programming videos coming soon.